Didn't see you there. Been busy reading from my new favorite book, Diary of a Bratwurst by O. Meyer. You might know the author. Real quick, I'll read you the back of the book. It's great stuff, man. This is a literary classic based on a tale of a singled-out brat from his past. All he ever wanted was a sense of belonging. Find out how one fateful night his dreams came true when he found his friends gathered together in a mug. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Audio Roast Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Isaacs. Welcome on this fine Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us here. If you're watching along live on the stream on Facebook, be sure to share it to your page. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. While you're watching along live, be sure to give us some comments and some likes, some loves, some laughs. Tell us how we're doing. Join along on the fun. You can also check out audio-only versions of the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you find your podcasts. A really cool way to support the show is to go to patreon.com/The Audio Roast Podcast and consider becoming a monthly member. There you can get upfront and early access to when our live shows are going to be, as well as a brand new series that we've just launched this past Wednesday, Common Grounds, that you'll only be able to see here on Patreon. So do consider becoming a member because it helps support the show and you get something out of it. You can also check out playlists available on iTunes or Spotify. Just go there and search for the Audio Roast Podcast. There you'll find playlists from today's show and past episodes. These are songs put together that are used in those episodes. So if you like what we're doing, you're looking for some good tunes, check it out. You can also go to our website, our handy dandy official one-stop shop, audioroast.com. There you can find links to our sponsors, merch, past episodes, all kinds of fun ways to support us. You can also go to our website, audioroast.com. It's your official one-stop shop for all things Audio Roast related. You can find merch, links to our sponsors, past episodes, playlists, you name it, it's there. Check it out. We change it often. Now it's time to recap what we did here last week. Last week, we did country from the year 1977 through 79. We had Chris Fiddler and Stephen Williams here on the show. And let me tell you, it was a blast. We had such a good show, great episode. We had a lot of great feedback after the show, as a matter of fact. Many people messaged and said, kudos, good job, keep up the good work. So here we are today, doing just that. An old favorite, that's right, classic album clash, number 7. We've got Lady Gaga this week. It's The Fame versus Born This Way. We're going to put the two up against each other in a track-by-track showdown to determine which of the two is the better album. We need your help and we need your comments, so be sure to be an active part of today's show. We've got Anthony Cano and Johnny Atkinson right here in the studio with us to help decide which is better. So, now it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show.
7 songs in 7 days.
You guys submitted a big selection of songs for us to choose from last week, and we gave it a listen, gave it a rank, and here's how it all shook out. In the number 7 spot from Stephen Williams, we've got 8th of November by Big and Rich. I gotta say, I enjoyed their harmonies. I thought they were good as far as being a good band. I didn't care for the song that much. Butt Country kind of came to my mind. So, again, not bad, but just not my favorite. In the number 6 spot from Chet Williams, we've got 6 O'Clock by Dream Theater. That was all right. Not my favorite Dream Theater song. It was almost just technical for the sake of showing off. There wasn't much song to it. You know what I mean? It didn't have that much of a story or a message that I got out of it. And how are you going to have a song that's 6 o'clock and we didn't even clock in at 6 minutes? I mean, come on. In the number 5 spot, we've got Maybe It's Time by 6 a.m. This one given to us by Chris Fiddler. I thought it was an all right song. Almost a little too mellow for what I was into this week for some reason. I enjoyed other songs of theirs, but this one was just okay. In the number 4 spot from Kim Garmery, we've got Low Life by Theory of a Dead Man. Again, another butt rock song, but I actually really kind of enjoyed this one. It was a little more upbeat, up-tempo, and it was good stuff, so I really enjoyed it. In the number 3 spot, and this is where things got hairy. We've got from Deborah Klein, Burning Heart by Vandenberg. A really great song. I love this one. Definitely number 1 status. It just got beat out this week. No big deal. I really enjoyed it, though. Good stuff. In the number 2 spot from Julia Leigh Cobb, we've got Fox on the Run by Sweet. Really good song. I love this old 70s throwback that Julia and Deborah both submitted this week. It's what I was vibing with this week, so I enjoyed both of those. Then I go on to say in the number 1 position from Cameron Klein, all the way from the 90s, we've got One Week by the Bare Naked Ladies. This is a good song. It reminds me a lot of my childhood. So it's in the number 1 spot. I enjoy the Bare Naked Ladies, and I enjoyed this song. So now is the time for you to nominate your songs using the hashtag 7. Just submit any song from any genre, any decade, or any style. Just make it a song. We'll take the next 7 days, give it a listen, give it a rank, because it's fun, it's new music, and we can. We're going to take a quick commercial break and introduce our guest. We'll be back right after this.
Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody wake up tonight. Everybody wake up tonight. You and me go fishing in the darkness, lying on our backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows. And by the river in the pool, moonlight with the body in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow.
We've got prizes, giveaways, all new games that can only be played live and in person. Double the guest, double the fun, so be there! The Audio Roast Podcast, only at the Rib.
Eventually, oblivion claims everything.
Time ravages all things but the timeless.
Even when it feels like there's always someone telling you what you can or can't do.
When there's always another sign, another obstacle in your way.
When nothing ever works out the way it should.
and the world keeps on spinning around you.
Don't despair. You may never sound like us, but you can smell like us.
DM Water. Smell us for yourself at Metal Mania 2. August 14th, Springfield, Missouri, at the Outland Ballroom.
Warning, for outside use only.
Oh, yeah! To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
Look at what we got. History lesson time. For those of you that remember when we moved over here in the late 90s, we built this beautiful little room. It helped us showcase acoustic guitars, the Taylor specifically, and helped us control our humidity. Nice classroom. Well, unlike my wife's lies about me, we continue to improve with age. So is there a reason we're one of the top 10 Taylor dealers in all of the U.S.? Oh, you bet there is. Builder's Edition? Got 'em. Grand Theaters? Got 'em. Koa GS Minis? Got 'em. American Dreams? Got 'em. Built to order customs? Got them. We've got the best selection of Taylors. We've got the coolest room. We love our guitars and we love you, and we'd love to see you in here and playing some of them. So come on in, come check them out. We'll catch you later.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Audio Rose Podcast. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Who else I got in the studio with me? I think I've got Josh. Are you there? There you are.
I'm here.
Hey,
Hello,
Josh, how's it
guys.
going down there, sir?
It's down there. Is that a short joke?
No, it's you're right down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
As long
plus
as you're
we're
not-
looking down on you.
Yeah. Well, most people do.
The camera is like eye level with me, but you know, it's Hey man, how are you? How was your week?
I'm doing good. My week was pretty good.
Yeah. Anything fun or exciting happen?
Nothing.
No flat tires. No.
Nothing,
Did you take
nothing.
out the trash? All that stuff
we
that you're
did
supposed to
domestic
talk
stuff
about on a
and-
podcast.
yeah.
Just kidding.
Nothing.
Or are we? I don't
No,
know.
maybe
No,
not.
I'm not gonna start that this soon. Come on now. Can't we all get along?
Nothing really happened this week. No gigs. Just kind of chilled out this week.
There you go. There you go. It dawned on me I was supposed to have some stuff ready to show, but I ran sound for Reverend Horton Heat down at Southbound this weekend.
Yeah, how was that?
That was a fun show.
Yeah.
Really fun act. If you've not got a chance to see them before, I'd highly recommend go check it out.
They're kind of rockabilly, aren't
Very rockabilly. But some influence from all over. The highlight of the night was, well, there was many highlights of the night. Maybe I should or shouldn't get into that. They did a great cover of Ace of Spades by Motorhead. And I did not expect that. For anybody that doesn't know who this band is, imagine a rockabilly band that's fronted by a guy that's probably in his 60s and singing the crap out of some Lemmy Kilmister. It was great.
They've
really
been
great.
around. He's been around for a long time.
He jumped up on the stand-up bass on the side of it and played his guitar, did a solo and stuff. It was awesome. Really entertaining stuff. So good times. And then I went down to the paddle wheel last night and worked with the Dirty Saints down there. Had a good show. So yeah. Throughout the week though, nothing too exciting around these parts. So let's go ahead and jump in on the show here, Josh.
Okay.
Breakfast in America.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it's from.
You can't call me out on that every time.
Every
Sometimes you're just
time
going to have
until
to go
you get
with
it right. Until you get it right. Yes, breakfast in America. That's what we're drinking today. As a
From
matter of
Classic
fact,
Rock Coffee.
My mug is empty. I need to get a refill.
Oh, boo. Mine is right to the brim. So what are the contents of Breakfast in America, Joshua Poole?
Do you want to know?
The world wants to know.
The world wants to know. Well, it is a light roast morning brew.
Okay.
So apparently
it's neither light nor morning.
No.
It's rainy and mid-afternoon.
So, I mean, can we drink this during the day?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm hoping that by doing so, the sun will come out and we'll end the day on a bright note.
It is nutty. It's nutty.
There you go.
We are talking about like nuts, regular nuts, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
It's not like tea bagged or.
Oh my God.
So, sweet citrus and dark chocolate.
Oh,
So
No blueberry.
No blueberry, but there's dark chocolate and it's got nuts. So,
Win-win.
Yeah.
What are
All
you guys
right.
drinking out there? That's what I want to know. Let's see what else is next here, Josh.
okay.
Let's go to the comments. All right. So let's see here. We've got some action going on. Joshua Poole says, "What's up, little monsters? Y'all ready for a Gaga classic album clash?" Anthony says, "Pog champ."
Pog champ.
Yeah. I love that profile picture, by the way. It's very
It's mysterious.
yeah, that's
very-
that's
you,
that's
you wonder who
yes.
this Anthony character
I'm
is.
telling you. Hey.
Hey.
David Klein, sure, I am here, man. Good to
No,
see you.
that's
Good to
sure
have you.
am. I am here.
Oh, sure am. I am here, man. I am here, man. Carolyn Fritz is with us. There she is. Howdy, Tara. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. So let's jump into things. We've got CJ Garma with #7 Ghost Bath Golden Number. Kim Garmery says #7 Shake, Rattle, and Roll by C. Calhoun. Julia Le Cobb, #7 My Wave by Soundgarden. Abigail's here with us. #7 Wichita by Gretchen Peters. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Deborah Klein says, "Woohoo! Cameron listens to an assortment." Yeah, I actually really enjoy the assortment that he listens to. We gotta have this young man on someday. Sounds like. Wesley Waller here with us. The top hat makes you look legit, bro. Well, thanks. About time something did.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of street cred whenever I had to shave my face.
No, you
So-
didn't.
It was the talk of the town. Oh my God, who are you? They say. Robin says, "I am too. Good to see you, Robin. Thanks for joining us. Sorry we won't be playing any Leonard Skinner. If you know,
Yeah.
you know." Deborah Klein says #7 come again, damn Yankees. Deborah says, "My e-liquid is Java caramel. Very tasty. Nice." Christy says, "Working on a 12-hour shift. Looking forward to this episode. Bless your heart. She's a hard-working woman."
Yeah, she works at the same place I work.
Oh, that's right.
she
Yeah.
got- Got a job.
Deborah Klein says, "I'm feeling that Anthony may be a Lady Gaga ringer." Maybe. What are we up to? 6?
5.
5? So
Yeah.
we need 2 more #7s. We need some
Don't make us ask our guests.
some nominations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, tired of waiting. Let's move on.
All right.
All right, let's go ahead and meet today's guests. And by meet, I mean meat dress. I don't know. It's all... I did.
You muted us, man.
I did. I hit the all too powerful button. All right. So our first guest, maybe you know him, maybe you don't. If you don't, you should know. Let's give it up at this time for the very special Mr. Anthony Cano. How's it going, Anthony?
Pretty good.
Good. Thanks for joining
Green
us.
Nitro.
Yep, no problem. Green Nitro.
You got a new nickname, buddy.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah. Right on. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you have a good time here on the show.
I hope so too. I'm looking
I
forward
know,
to
right?
it.
Good. All right. Our next guest. hit the that
I
thing.
can.
There you go. There we go. All right. Sorry, I didn't show notes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have a great idea. Let's keep Joshua in the dark as long as we can. That'd
Yeah,
be great for
that
the
way
show.
you can always shit on me. Not knowing what's going on. That gives Dan some fuel for
Well,
like,
you know, I totally do it to ourselves, don't I? Sorry. All right. So our next guest, you know, from Nocturnal Nation, he's been around town playing a lot of good music for a lot of good years. I've been playing with him in my band for a long time, well over 10 years. So let's go ahead and give a warm welcome at this time to Mr. Johnny Atkinson.
How's it going?
Good.
that one was my fault.
Yes, indeed. Johnny, thanks for joining us, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. When I found out that you were a Lady Gaga fan, after my brain like came back in from being blown, I was like, wow, this is all right. So like I said, you and I have played a lot of shows together and stuff with our bands over the years. And this is the first time we've actually got to sit down and chat and kind of get to know each other. So this has been nice. And even before we went live, like just having a conversation with you and stuff. Really looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this.
Nice.
Very cool. So I guess let's jump right into things. Josh, it's been so long since I put this show together. I don't even remember what's next. So let's see what we got.
Okay, so let's go to that. How about that?
There we go.
Okay,
Like it. I love
it.
Classic album clash. This is how it works.
Yeah. Do you want a full screen on that?
Yeah, let's
so
go ahead
everyone
and do
can
that.
really see?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
All right. So let's see here. Josh, I'll take one. You take one.
Okay.
First, we will compare initial thoughts and album artwork of the two albums.
Then each song will be discussed at length by each participant here in the studio, which is going to take a long time.
Oh boy.
That's, buckle in for probably a 5-hour podcast.
Oh, no. We won't be having none of that. All right. And overall audience votes will be taken into account. So your votes count. We want to hear from you in the comments. You hear?
Then all votes will be totaled, and the most votes will win the track. The album with the most tracks won will be deemed as being the better of the two albums.
That is correct. So, before we move on, I want to read a little a synopsis, if you will, on these albums. I'm assuming a lot of people know a lot about these albums and stuff, but I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Kim says, "Hey, Anthony.
Hi.
What's up, Brian?" Let's see here. Robin says, still can't believe that was you. And thank you. I corrected it. I'm losing my mind. So yeah, there was another band, Got You Covered. It was playing Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent. And she's like, oh, I love Leonard Skinner, which is funny because that's always been a joke. Like, man, I love that band Guns N' Roses. Their singer, Brett Michaels, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And, but she accidentally made that mistake. So I had to correct her. But what she's talking about is, she didn't know that was me doing the Ozzy impersonation a few weeks ago at Southbound. And
because
she's like,
didn't have the mustache.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people were like, who is this guy? Somebody tell me who this is. And I was like, well, it's me. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't even know it was you.
Did you shave it off?
Oh, yeah.
Recently?
Yep.
Oh,
What was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Something like that. It's like the next day, I let it start growing back. I'm like, oh, this feels weird.
Damn.
So yeah. I also wanted to jump back over here. Christy says, I'm just ready to talk about Lord of the Rings already. Well, golly, girm, you're in the right spot. Just
yeah, I love those two.
What's that?
I love those two.
Oh, man. Lisa says, would know Anthony, but you're ashamed to introduce us to him. Oh, now. You know better than that. She did tell me that recently, and I was like, no, he just hardly comes out. So here he is. All right. I wanted to read some stuffs. So here I go. The Fame was released August 19th of 2008. The Fame is an electro pop, synth pop, and dance pop album that displays influences from the 1980s music. Lyrically, it visualizes Gaga's love of fame in general, while also dealing with subjects such as love, sex, money, drugs, and sexual identity. The Fame became the 5th best-selling album of 2009 and has sold over 4.9 million copies in the United States as of January of 2019. Combined with the Fame Monster, the album has sold over 18 million copies worldwide as of August of 2019. The Fame has won multiple awards since its release. In the United States, the album was nominated for a total of 5 Grammy Awards, including Grammy for Album of the Year. It won the Grammy Award for the Best Electronics Dance Album and the Grammy for Best Dance Recording for the single Poker Face. And it also went on to win Best International Album at the 2010 Brit Awards. In 2013, Rolling Stone named The Fame as one of the 100 greatest debut albums of all time. As of 2018, it is the 12th biggest album of all time on the Billboard 200 charts in the US. For the other album that we're comparing it to, Born This Way, which was Lady Gaga's third released studio album, released on May 23rd of 2011, she worked with artists such as the E Street Band saxophonist Clarence Clemens and Queen's guitarist Brian May. Born This Way received 3 Grammy Award nominations, including Gaga's third consecutive nomination for Album of the Year. In 2020, Rolling Stone ranked it number 484 in their updated list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The music of Born This Way stems from the synth pop and dance pop styles of her previous material, while incorporating different forms of instrumentation from that of her previous releases, such as electronic, rock, and techno. It features a broader range of genres such as opera, heavy metal, disco, house, and rock and roll, while its lyrical topics include sexuality, religion, freedom, feminism, and individualism. Despite divided opinions among religious and conservative commentators, the album was well received by music critics who praised the varying musical styles and Gaga's vocals. Others feel Gaga was trying too hard to please everyone through the album's self-empowerment message. According to the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, the IFPI, Born This Way was the third global best-selling album of 2011. And finally, as of 2021, Born This Way has more than 5.8 billion, that's with a B, billion, global streams. 5.2 million physical copies sold and 31 million digital tracks sold. Whew. So, there's that. Now that we've got all the business out of the way.
So were you just straight reading from Wikipedia?
Hey, you hush your mouth.
Because I was looking through that and it's like, sounds familiar.
You're like, man,
almost word for word.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like copy and paste.
You don't have to do research if there's Wikipedia. You just click on it. Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got here. I think we're going to start talking about initial thoughts and album artwork before we jump into the track by track.
We got a leak somewhere?
Huh?
We got a leak somewhere?
No, I had to go to the bathroom.
Okay. That's a weird sound effect for
Well,
that. Is that
you
what
know,
thinking sounds like to you?
All right, so Anthony, we'll start with you. What are your overall initial thoughts on a surface level of both of these albums?
Well, considering what we were doing today, I thought initially that this was going to be a blowout for one of the albums that I tend to favor over the other.
Okay.
But as I sat over the past week listening to both of them and going through each song, I realized this is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. And I grew up in the time frame since I'm a bit younger. I experienced Lady Gaga through high school, basically. The Fame came out in 2008 when I was a freshman, and then in 2011 is the year I graduated, which is when Born This Way came out. So it basically kind of shaped my teenage years in that regard. So she's kind of been like my big artist of my lifetime because that's what I experienced as a kid coming up. And so since then, I've listened to every single album. I've purchased, I think, most of them.
Very
And
cool.
I'm just like an overall big fan.
Cool. Johnny, what about yourself, man? What are your initial thoughts of both of these albums?
The Fame is my favorite, but it would probably be a lot of people's favorite because of the way it was made. She just got signed, so a lot of influence, especially with her father. As I think is how it goes. But when she got signed, it was, you're going to play what we're going to play. And that's why it was so dance and common. And then her second album ended up being more of what she wanted to do, because as an artist, you want to grow. To get your foot into the industry, you have to play by their rules.
Yep.
And I like The Fame the most because I listened to that album way more. I was 18 or 19. So yeah, going and buying that while, playing a Nocturnal and listening to everything else that I listened to.
Right.
Even the guys in the band would always say, Lady Gaga's not bad. It's great, but I can find, if there's bad music, I can find it. And it's awesome. But I also, but I'm not what I'm saying about Lady Gaga, but I listen to weird things.
Right. As
well,
that's
as
the thing. Like I totally, and there's nothing wrong with liking Lady Gaga. I just didn't peg you for being a Lady Gaga fan, which I think is fantastic. I love that, so.
But I would say The Fame, but Born This Way is
you
letting her do what she wants to do and use her power to influence people to help with a message that she was trying to get across.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. You were even saying that you remember the specifics of buying the Fame album.
Yes. Kmart, when it was on South Campbell, bought it in the back. And I also bought Adam Lambert's first CD at the same Kmart just a few months later.
Great
I'm pretty
voice.
sure
Nice.
For Your Entertainment came out, which I love Adam Lambert, by the way.
He's awesome.
Very cool, man. Very cool. I missed
I agree with Christy Pressler.
Brian says, yeah, looks much better with the beard. Gotcha. Brian says, need to do an annual blooper reel for the Audio Roast podcast. Okay, maybe a 3-part miniseries.
Well, yeah,
no doubt. We've got enough
blooper
material
reel
to cover.
is just an actual podcast.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, we could fill an entire
It'd
episode.
be easier to do one where there aren't mistakes.
Yeah, and by easier, we would have to sift through so much material to find the flawless stuff. Robin says she's got Bret Michaels' autograph tattoo on her arm. That's awesome. Christy says, in my opinion, Fame was the money grabber to get her in the scene with all the controversies she had. Born This Way was when Gaga showed her true talent. That's a totally fair argument. Robin says, I had the first CD too. Love him. Very cool. All right, let's talk about some album artwork, Josh. Do you have initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts.
Your initial thoughts. Like, are you a big Gaga fan? Like, did you buy her albums and stuff?
I did not buy any albums, just what I heard on the radio. And
oh yeah, I'm supposed to look this way, so it looks like we're looking at each other. Yeah.
Does it look like I'm looking at you?
Sure. We'll go with
sure.
Yes.
Why not? So, I mean, in listening to these albums, I mean, I've just heard what's been on the radio, but in listening to the albums, it's definitely can tell that one is more industry produced, the first one, and Born This Way has probably more of who she is as far as a voice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would
general
agree.
thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't argue it.
All right. So,
all right,
artwork. Here we go. There they are. There they is.
You want a full of that so the people at home can look at?
Sure.
I mean, for me, it's not even close.
Okay. Do tell.
I mean, the first one is Fame is basically just a real close-up selfie. She looks great. The skin looks great. It's glowing. I like the glasses and all that. But I mean, come on, she's a motorcycle on the other album. It's awesome. It's so weird. It's so kooky. It's very much so how she operates as an artist. And like you said, it's much more her. I like the bold red lip, the little beauty mark, the crazy wild hair. Her leg is the front of the bike. She was born a motorcycle. Like that stands out way more than the Fame would in a lineup of album artwork. You would notice that one above that one.
Okay. Johnny, what do you think? Any preference on the artwork itself?
So the cover of the Fame was a big deal for her, and a lot of it is because with Poker Face coming out, those glasses were very like cutting edge for 2008.
That's
the whole look she had going on with the square hair and the blonde, the very tan skin, she was the next pop star to do this, and it was new. With Born This Way, it was because as far as I know, after the Fame, a lot of stuff happened with her. Including she has a really bad, I think it's a hip problem she got on opiates real bad for the pain, and gained weight, and she started to take care of herself more than losing weight to stay thin. Born This Way, it's basically saying she's going to do what she wants to do now because she had to be fake for the first album and appease everyone, and
which most artists do,
which is what you have to do. And Born This Way is what I want to do. So to be honest, it's all about what you want to do. So I'm going to say Born This Way is better because the motorcycle kind of represents her being completely different than
the freedom,
the Fame. Yeah, the freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that analysis of Born This Way. And the only thing I would add to the deal with the Fame is that I mean, for years, I'm talking up until probably the last 2 or 3 years, you can go to Party City and still get that Lady Gaga outfit with the wig and the glasses and stuff for well over 10 years after the album came out. So that speaks a lot to the power of like what you were saying, Johnny, with that look, was very iconic. It's just it was her signature look. She's more fluid in her identity.
She was a money maker, and they ran her dry.
Yeah,
she played a lot of shows. She got herself hurt. I mean, she used everything, almost ruined her career over it from her body being in such bad shape. So for her to recover and still be in the business is fantastic. So whatever she does basically is, she has the power to do it.
I mean, you can hardly blame her for her body giving out on her. She was on tour for almost 1.5 years straight. She didn't stop.
Yeah.
The meme of her going club, next club, next club, next club, arena, stadium.
Well, yeah, and she has like probably over 100 people for the set, for all the dancers and the choreography and all that. She has to soak in like Epsom salt baths, as what I think is because her body hurts so bad that she has to do that to be able to perform still.
Yeah.
So she deals with a lot.
She does, and that's the thing too. I'm glad to hear you bring that up too, Johnny, because a lot of times we think of like rock and roll guys having to go through this, but we kind of write off the pop singers in the modern day world of like, oh, how bad can it be? Well, it's
Right.
still the rigors of the road, and
yeah.
it takes a toll on your body. So it's all the same. Plus, she's out there doing choreographed dances and stuff, and like she's actually doing a lot more with her body in some ways. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead, Josh, and jump into things here. Yep, that's where we're at. We're at the start.
Gaga, ooh la la.
All right, so track number 1 on the Fame is Just Dance versus Marry the Night. All right, just for the sake of being different, Joshua, I'm going to start with you on this one.
All right. Well, so my opinion was that Just Dance is a great opening song. It has nice traditions from the chorus to verse and back. It builds well. It's a good head bopping song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The guest vocalist I thought added a lot to the song. And that could also be that they may have not had a whole lot of faith in her too, since they threw in a guest vocalist. Didn't know if they would hold she could hold an audience's attention on the radio.
Right.
There was a section that reminded. Okay, so some of the.
Let's have it. Let's hear it.
So you can definitely tell that she was a industry creation on that first album.
Right.
Especially since the little
industry mold, if you will. Yeah. Because I mean, she was already playing music and stuff, so it wasn't like they taught her how to sing or taught, you know what I mean?
No, but I mean, she was classically trained.
True.
So
Yep.
the stuff she was playing, 5 years before was classical type stuff and more of her type.
And she can play the piano really well as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pianist.
And she went from being classically educated to doing that, and everything's programmed. So
Right.
there were sections of that song, especially that talk rap, sing rap stuff that was reminded me of Supersonic and
Yeah.
Fergie.
No doubt.
Yep.
A lot of Gwen Stefani
Yep.
style
Oh,
stuff.
we're gonna have to wait on that.
Yep.
Yep.
There is a
So,
song
yeah.
on this
Yep.
album that sounds just like Gwen Stefani.
The problem with this song is that when I first heard it, after Poker Face came out, I never associated this song with her.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Poker Face took over her identity to you.
Well, Poker Face sounded totally different than this song.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was Kesha for a long time.
Oh really?
I sure
Interesting.
did. Because this sounds exactly like what Kesha would do. Yeah. Vocally, it sounded like another singer. It didn't sound like
That's
Gaga,
another
so-
artist. Kesha's another artist that's gotten
Yeah.
a lot of bad stuff happened to
Mhm.
her over the
Yeah.
years.
Yep. For sure.
And with Marry the Night, I thought the intro had some potential. Then it turned into a techno club song. And whatever depth the song could have had was undercut by turning into a shallow party song. It reminded me something that would play on the Night at the Roxbury soundtrack.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
I
my
like that
vote,
at the Roxbury.
Your vote is
Just Dance.
Just Dance. All right. I will. Let's see here. We'll let Johnny go first or second. Numbers.
Numbers.
So is it me?
Yep.
It's
Just
you.
Dance or Marry
Is
the
your
Night.
name Johnny?
Yes.
Or
He said-
Jim?
but he said go
Jim?
second. So go second.
Right.
Well, that sounded funny to me. Just Dance, like you were saying with the guest vocals, you got to remember. So if I remember, I just graduated high school in 07, 08, and Akon was a big deal, and Lil Jon was still a big deal, and a lot of Usher was still. So getting that type of popular vocals, because it always reminded me of Akon sounding vocals in that
Yes.
song. That was a way to get her foot in.
Yep.
To
She's
be
got a lot of
able-
effects on her voice on this album.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is what helped her with that. And then Poker Face, of course, being so big. Oh, we're not even talking about that yet. But I'll wait on that. But Just Dance, then Marry the Night, to be honest, doesn't really do anything for me. There's some songs on that album that do it for me. This one I just don't really have an opinion on.
Okay.
Because it was so much
Anthony's getting
different.
a little
Oh, I'm loving
twisted
it.
up on this one.
Look at it.
I saw his eyebrows pop up.
He's like, All All right, so now that Johnny's made his vote, I'm going to make Anthony wait.
Yeah.
And
So let's let him stew a little bit.
Right, yeah.
And he can tell us why we're all wrong.
That's right. Or can he? Okay, so for me, Just Dance. These are some little tidbits here.
And Jim, you went with Just Dance, right?
Jim, you got to quit with this. You're going to mess me up.
Johnny, you went with Just Dance, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
All right. Just Dance is a joyous, heart-themed song which appeals to people going through tough times in their lives. It was actually, you ready for this, Johnny? It was co-written with Akon. So there's where that comes from.
There's that. You know what? I think I remember that for some reason now.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
I
a
really
reason.
do. I think I do.
Yeah. It was released April 8th of 2008 as the lead single from the album. The song was apparently written in 10 minutes, and lyrically it speaks about being intoxicated at the club.
Yeah, you know,
useless information.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, it doesn't. It sounds like it was written in 10 minutes.
Woo! Coming in.
Because it was.
Yeah,
Right.
because there's no.
That's what sells.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the clubs.
Yep.
You want to listen to music about going to the clubs.
Exactly,
we don't want to
about
think
the
too
club
much about what
experience.
we're dancing to.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's the music matters more than the lyrics a lot of times. That being said, later in her professional career, like her lyrics really start taking a like she's like, okay, wait a minute, I don't want to be just about the music. I want my words to matter too, which we'll get into
Yeah,
as the show goes on.
We'll discuss that too because I have my thoughts on those too.
So Marry the Night released October 17 of 2011. Originally released for promotion on, you ready for this?
Night at the Roxbury.
Farmville.
On Farmville?
Yes.
So just plow?
No, I want to marry the plow. Marry the night.
That was on Marry the Night?
Yeah. It was inspired by the energy of her previous songs like Dance in the Dark and her love for her hometown, New York City. Lady Gaga directed the music video, and some of the scenes filmed included the inside of her own New York apartment. The more you know. Okay, so Just Dance is a better song. That's my vote. I won't hit the repeat button.
Why are we wrong?
Actually, you're not wrong. Just Dance was the one I was going to choose too.
All right,
Well,
tell us why.
fascinating.
Well, here's the thing. Originally, when I went through this was one of the harder decisions for me to make because I really
this
like
is an easy one.
No, it was close for me. I actually originally had written this as one of the 3 ties that I had on this thing, but I decided to go with Just Dance just because it was more influential and more successful. Because Marry the Night ended up only getting to number 29 on the Hot 100 after 11 previous songs were in the top 10. So maybe that says something about the quality of that song. Personally, I like it because her vocals are better on Marry the Night than they are in Just Dance.
Agreed.
Yep.
But that's true about the entire album, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's not anything to put it over. I like Marry the Night. It's part of one of her, actually, it's part of her longest music videos that she did, which you said that she helped produce.
She directed.
She directed it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it clocks in at something like 13 minutes or 14 minutes or something. I don't know. I like it because it was a bigger sound. It felt more grandiose. The song Marry the Night, it felt like something you would hear at a arena show or live in concert compared to Just Dance, which is more of like you're going to listen to it in the club or you can listen to it in the car or at karaoke, which I actually think makes it more appealing to the masses than the prior. So that's why I put Just Dance over Marry the Night, because it's overall a better song that's more successful.
You know, it all goes back to what sells the most.
Yeah.
Even though what she did on the Marry the Night was what she wanted to do, and it's great, especially her dedicated fans.
Right.
Love that stuff more, but when it goes, you have to deal with the general public, and when it comes to that, you want to get views, or back then it wasn't even views.
Right.
Or I'm saying views like YouTube.
Right. But that is
Downloads.
the birth of the YouTube era and stuff,
is.
though. So
It really is.
yeah.
She was the most downloaded artist for a long time.
Yep, indeed. All right, so let's now jump over to the comments and see where everybody else thinks.
I think it's really one-sided from what I've seen already.
Okay. Robin says, I never bought her albums either, but have some songs burned onto CD. My granddaughter loved her. Teresa's here. Hey, Teresa. She says she's iconic. Won't stop till she drops. Julia says, the Fame cover is a great introduction to Gaga's first visually iconic look. Born This Way's bold strangeness is a huge commentary on along the lines of, I will do whatever the F I want and be fantastic. Born This Way gets the edge for me. And her vote is Just Dance. Teresa says Just Dance. Christy agrees and says for this round, it was top hit on the radio for several weeks, if not months. Cindy also says
So
Just
is it
Dance.
Just Dance for Christy?
Yep. Robin, we're not on that one yet.
I was about to say no, not yet.
Sheila Keener's here with us. Hey, Sheila, good to see you. Just Dance is her vote. Kim says Just Dance, and Brian says Just Dance. All right, fine, we'll just dance.
I wonder how much of it's nostalgia too at the same time,
Yeah.
because you got to remember that's been like what 13, 14 years ago. So
Right.
we may be thinking of something that it's more to us because of the time when it came out.
No, well, I get what you're saying, but Just Dance has hit written all over it.
Big
Oh
time.
no, it
is- yeah.
definitely does.
I think a lot of that too is it's got more breath, if you will, in the song, like the just that bounce. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
not like
Mhm.
like just not constant. Like there's dips and stuff in there, and that's that's where, like what Josh said, that's the bop. You know, and that's the hit. So yeah.
This might trigger some of the metalheads. Marry the Night's heavier than Just Dance.
I would agree.
It is.
I do
It's a
agree.
heavier song. It's a heavier sound. Just
Interesting.
Dance is a lot lighter and poppier and easier to
See,
listen
and
to.
so the way, okay, I hear what you're
very
saying now.
very electronically
Yeah.
sounding on.
But
Whereas
the way
like
my
Marry the
brain
Night
works
has
is if
dirty
I was-
synths and like actual, well, not actual, but it has the sound of electric guitar and
and
all these other
strings,
things,
and
right?
horns, and weird
snare
stuff.
drums and bass kicks and all that. And Just Dance is like, no, it's pure electronic.
Keyboard?
pop.
I do want
keyboard
to.
recorded.
I do want to address your electric guitar statement. That's not real electric guitar. And that's a keyboard electric guitar. We
But I
don't have
said-
an electric guitar in
I
the
said-
album.
Till
sort
later.
of electric guitar.
Until
That's
later.
why I was specific in saying the sound of electric
Oh, okay.
guitar.
All right.
I didn't
Just-
say an
I want to make
actual
sure that
electric
there's
guitar.
clear. There was no
Josh
actual
has got
guitar
to be
playing
on the
that.
record for saying,
Right.
it's not music.
But it does have. I do agree that there is a heavier, darker. I would say darker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so for me, the way my
Grittier.
brain works, the way my brain works is I'm translating it like from if I was in a metal band and wanted to cover these songs, Just Dance would be the heavier of the two as far as a metal spin on it, a metal cover, again,
Yeah.
because of that bounce.
Right.
But just the songs themselves, I see what you're saying with Marry the Night being the heavier of the two.
It's more
presented.
layered too, more layered, more,
Right.
more. Just probably that song probably has 129 tracks on that file, and I bet Just Dance it probably has
Right.
60, or
Exactly.
70. It's
Yeah.
just there's a lot more
going on.
artistic
Yep.
stuff that she wanted to do.
Yep, for sure. All right. So, and Robin also had said Just Dance. So, looks like without having
It's
to
a
go,
land-
Shut out.
clean sweep,
No
yeah.
one.
Clean
No
sweep.
one wanted to marry the night.
I still love that song though. But Just Dance is better.
all right. And
And you're gonna find that with these classic album clashes, the ones that you think are gonna win when you put them up against
that's the
another
thing.
one.
Yep.
Like I absolutely love the song, but then it comes up against another song that's really great and slightly edges it out.
Yep. Really good point, Josh, because exactly that, like Marry the Night, if it was with some other song, it would have had all the votes.
Right.
It's
Well-
just the way that our classic album clash episodes work. It's track one versus track one,
Yeah.
2 versus 2, that kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah, like the
Also-
Def Leppard one, everybody was assuming that Hysteria would win.
Right.
But nope.
just the way that it's matched up. And that's the whole point, by the way, if this is your first time watching a classic album clash, the whole point to doing track one versus track one is because there's an artistry in itself to putting the set list, if you will,
Song
the,
order.
the song order. Thank you of the album, because it's how they want to present themselves, and so it matters to them. And so that's kind of a part of what we're judging too. Is how does that progress in their career? Like, oh, we got to start with a hit and we got to end on a soft song, and then does it translate later to the next album as the same, or do they do something different? And it's the journey of the musician. So that's why we do track versus track. All right, track 2, Love Game versus Born This Way.
This one was hard for me too.
Yeah.
The first 3 are hard for me for the matchups, and then
Okay.
it gets a little easier after that.
All right, then we'll start with you, Anthony.
I went with Born This Way.
Okay.
Ultimately over Love Game. Even though I love the song Love Game, I went with Born This Way. It's the title track of the album, and it kind of does the best job of encompassing what the album is all about in general. It's got everything that you're gonna pretty much hear throughout the rest of the album. In fact,
Okay.
I think Born This Way probably should have been the album opener instead of Marry the Night, because Just Dance works as an album opener for that album because it tells you exactly what you're in for. It's just nice, easy to dance to, catchy music.
Right.
Whereas Born This Way encompasses everything that this album is about.
That's correct.
You know, the messaging behind it, the social messaging behind
That's
it,
true.
reaching
That's a
out
good
to the people. Plus, the message in the song is probably the most direct. Keep in mind, like I don't know about anything that might have happened before my time, but in my time, I never would have thought that there was an album like Born This Way or a song like Born This Way that is directed towards people like me directly, so blatantly the way it is, and have that sort of a message.
Yep.
Like to hear that on the radio, it made a lot of people mad, but also good. People should hear that kind of things, and
Be
it
happy
happened
with who they are.
Yeah, and it was around that time in 2011 or 12 where conversations about things like gay rights and all that sort of stuff really became prevalent. And just a few years later, you would have marriage equality passed in America, and it's I don't want to say it's all thanks to Gaga, but things like this contributed to it by having things like this.
I think it started the conversation
successful and become mainstream popular in general, and I think that's why it's no contest. Just the meaningfulness behind the song "Born This Way" alone beats "Love Game," which is basically just about sex. It's a great song, love it, but not for me.
Okay, let's see here, Josh. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Well, Love Game. Let's have fun. This beat is sick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick.
Hot.
Shallow, repetitive lyrics.
Oh!
I was just waiting, and I was waiting for that sick beat. But you know what? We had a kick on the 1 and the 3 and a snare on the 2 and the 4, which is not a sick beat. It is a simple beat.
I mean, after they repeat the first line a second time, she goes, "Ha!" And then it kicks in the
Nope, the beat was still the same.
Ha!
The beat, the whole through the song was.
It's all 2/4 beat. Yeah.
It's fierce. It's gay.
There was no sick beat. Sorry, there was some cool keyboard stuff, but there was no sick beat.
Never mind.
This beat is sick. Not sick
Right.
beat.
And
This
yeah,
beat
and
is
the,
sick.
Yeah, exactly.
they do Love Game. Let's play the Love Game ad nauseum. So to me, it was a very simple, shallow song.
Josh is coming in hot today.
I
boy.
am. Oh, and wait till I talk about Born This Way. I like the song. Okay, okay. I like the song better when it was called "Express Yourself" by Madonna.
Oh God.
So on this,
Born This Way, is that what you said?
Born This Way.
Yeah.
So I label my votes green for the ones that I like, and I put yellow on this one because I really don't think it's a Gaga song. I think it's a Madonna song, and if I could vote for Madonna on this one, I would.
Well, thank you for sharing your color
Yep.
coding skills.
Yep. So I'm going to go with Born This Way because it's the better of the two songs.
All right. Mark yourself down for Born This Way.
Thank you, Madonna.
And Johnny, what do you think, Johnny?
But I'm not even discussing the lyrics because the lyrics are pretty good. I mean, self-affirming songs are not bad. So
There you go.
So, but I was just, kind of miffed that it was a real ripoff. So
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell. No, I don't know. And I don't know who to blame on that. Was that her choice or was that her producer's choice? How much
It
control?
wasn't her choice.
No, she
I
didn't
don't
write
believe
the
so,
song.
No, I mean, look at the next album.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing like the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously shows you right there that the industry is not controlling her now. But you
Right.
guys, you both had some good points
Yep.
on what you were saying.
Bye, Robin. Come back and see us sometime.
Did I just scare someone off?
No, she had to go.
Maybe
I didn't know if that was like, that's it. I'm out of here.
No,
Yeah, I'm probably ruining everything.
you're not.
But
You're nailing it.
I remember being when the video came out for Love Game. I remember being at work, and we had the shop computer because I'm a mechanic. And YouTube was still very primitive back in 08. But when I saw that, I was like, man, this is fantastic. Even though, yes, it's very empty and very, like, she's going down the stairs, has the one-piece swimming suit on with the jacket, doing the hand thingies. I mean, it's great. Has the face thing going on to make her look like her. The lyrics are just industry written, a song that's gonna make it big. Empty lyrics, what people want to hear, because sex is what sells
Sex
more
sells.
than
Sex sells.
anything else in the entire world.
Yep.
And with Born This Way, I remember when Born This Way came out, when I heard it on the radio for the first time. When I first heard it, I didn't like any of it. I didn't even like Bad Romance. But anyway, I was like, why'd you go straight off? I mean, she was wearing a meat suit
Right.
to the awards show. I mean, it's like she went off the deep end for a minute, and it's fine to be that way, but I did feel like she went a little hardcore. But then again, there's a lot of people that are like that, and she also went through a lot.
Yeah.
So for what she did for herself and other people to be happy to be in your own skin, or if you're gay or not, or whatever, don't worry about what other people think. Be yourself, and it should be that way. So I would say Love Game is going to be my choice. And the reason why is not because of the song, and it's because if she wouldn't have done that song with Poker Face, I don't think she would have got the following she got to be able to do what she truly wanted to do later to spread her message. So sometimes to have something better in the end, it has to have a beginning that you may not want. So
Right.
Love Games and all that was what made her be bigger and what she wanted to do. So Love Game for me.
Okay, that's fair. For me, so what I've got written down as little factoids. For Love Game, the music video was inspired by Michael Jackson's Bad.
That's what I was going to say.
Which also takes place in a subway station. Born This Way was inspired by 1990s music, which empowered women and the gay community. So for me, a lot of this is on these two songs is timing. Timing of when they came out to relevant to my age and stuff. So Love Game is back when I was in my early 20s and going to the club and that kind of stuff. So it definitely checked all the boxes for me on that. Whereas Born This Way, whenever it first came out, I got to admit, I was like, meh, it's like, because I already knew who I was, and I was fine with that. But I do understand its relevance and importance to somebody like Anthony's age, perhaps, that it's like, wow, I'm actually getting to hear this on the radio, and it's confirming that I'm I hear what they're saying, and it makes me feel accepted, or that there's other people in the world like that. So
Especially when, like, you gotta remember, were you in school still whenever you said that?
It came out in May. Yeah, I was in school, senior year, graduating in 2011.
Because the kids are horrible bullies at school,
Yeah.
especially now since the internet and
Yep.
everything. So
true.
I hear stories constantly. We have our nephew, now full time. So I get to see all of the awesomeness of high school kids and what they do, especially with kids that kill themselves nowadays, which is terrible because of bullying. So this was a good way for people to release and use that music to release, because the world is a terrible place and people are very mean.
Yep.
And a lot of people are jealous and mean.
Right.
So I absolutely understand why that helps a lot of people.
Yep, for sure. Same. But I'll have to side with Johnny on this one. And I think a lot of it is timing. My vote is going to be for Love Game. I just, it resonated with me more at the time than Born This Way did. Again, because I've already went through what Anthony was discovering. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
right.
so yeah.
And to add on to that, I just realized while sitting here, Born This Way, the album and the song were all over the radio the same year I came out.
Gotcha.
So,
So it was perfect for you.
I have to. It was my song. I had something on the radio to listen to. It made me feel less self-conscious and proud and pride, and go to the Pride Parade
Stand
downtown.
up for what you believe in.
Yep.
Yeah, marching
Well-
in the parades and carrying the rainbow flag, all that stuff. I was like, this is it. This is everything to me. This is everything.
Well, for a person who is not a close follower, and I'm kind of like with the Reba episode,
Right.
I didn't know every song. I knew what was on this things. So I was just, for me, this to me sounds like a better song.
Gotcha.
I'm unswayed by my connection to either one of them.
There you go.
Which is a good opinion, actually.
Yes.
Have an outside
Yeah.
perspective
Yep.
instead of what you it's good. I like that.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no nostalgia involved in
Correct. No
Yep.
nostalgia involved.
Yep. Yep. It's which makes for a nice
other than
a different
Madonna, and I really liked Madonna's version of this.
I think Gaga's was better.
Guys wouldn't exist without Madonna.
Who's Madonna? Is that old lady?
Yeah, she's
yeah, the old
Yeah,
lady
she
that
was,
still
she
kicks
was on
butt.
the Austin Powers. That's
the,
why he
the
was like,
legend.
gotcha.
The legend.
She's the one who lip synced through her Super Bowl performance, right?
Well,
yeah, that one.
Yeah,
E-
okay.
everyone does. but
Gaga
yeah.
does that.
didn't.
Huh?
Gaga did.
No
Yeah, she
doubt
did.
didn't either on some
Yeah,
of their
she-
stuff. Some
No,
of them don't. but
She
a lot of
didn't
them do.
because she was out of breath when she was doing it.
Exactly.
So yeah, and that I got into a lot of heat by posting something about that.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
did.
really?
I said
Do
so.
tell.
So when you're, I posted that. So if you're doing a Super Bowl performance and you're singing, you probably shouldn't dance so much that you can't actually sing, because she was really out of breath, and she's a great performer, but because the expectation is for her to gyrate over, she her
Right.
singing suffered for that.
It
And
does suffer from
Yeah.
that.
It does.
so
That's why she needs to have
Cred for
dancers
trying
do
to-
most of the dancing.
yeah, but she was dancing a lot,
She was-
and she was out of breath, and she couldn't sing very well on that. I mean, a lot of people liked her performance, and I give her cred for that. But if you're there to sing, sing.
She's probably
If you
nervous,
can't
too.
do your one job
Yep.
live, and you need backup vocals,
Are we talking about the Super Bowl? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
When she played?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Could you imagine how nerve wracking that would be?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
no!
It's
I,
the
dude.
no,
Super
I
Bowl.
can't. And
Dude.
that's the
I
thing,
imagine she
like,
was
yeah.
nervous too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like singing the national anthem. You expect it to go badly because that's a
Right.
hard song to do. Super Bowl would be rough.
Well, I mean, look what Prince did. He didn't have. He
Yeah,
does a
it
lot
even
of
rained.
dancing.
And it even rained during that performance during Purple
Just saying.
Rain.
Yeah. So he performed, and he didn't have to dance around. He just belted it out, and she could have done that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it would be weird for her to be up there singing all her songs and not have some sort of a dance going on. That,
Right.
that would look absurd.
Because there's choreography for every one of her songs.
Yeah,
and
it'd
all
be
her videos
absurd
that
for
have
her
to be
not to
part of
dance.
the
Her
act.
it's
Oh,
dance
come on.
music.
Be like
She could have
leaving
just
guitar
walked
this
right
time.
out there and stood in the middle of that and said, "I am Gaga," and
I
listen to
mean,
me roar.
She did some parts. She sat at a piano for a while and
Yeah.
played and sang,
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Sorry.
right.
We're chasing some squirrels here.
Right, yeah, exactly. All right, so we've got over here in the comments, Cindy Lucas says, "Born This Way."
Yep.
Mhm.
Christy says, "Of course, Born This Way."
Yeah.
Julia says, "Tough call, but Born This Way has to win. I love
does.
listening to it. I love singing it. I love that she did a country remix. I've not heard that actually. It's her manifesto, her call to all of her little monsters to be themselves and to love themselves. Epic." Kim Garmery says, "I don't own any of her music, but I love that she's outspoken and creates conversations. Born This Way is my vote, and I do agree with Josh about Love Game." Well, that doesn't surprise me. Let's see here. Chris Fiddler says, "I'm sorry. I think I'm in the wrong room. I thought this was the clientele trials of results of Jeff Ward and Scott Henry podcast." Not quite. Not quite. Maybe some other day. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for joining us. He also says, "Neat." Yeah. Brian says, "Well said, Johnny." And he also says, "It's sad when people check out because of the weight of the world. People being just mean." Yes. Born This Way from Abigail Burbridge.
And also Born This Way from Brian Betancourt.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, you went from the Jeff Ward comment to Chris Fiddler.
Oh, it's up. Up above. There you go. Thank you. Born This Way.
Good catch.
Jessica Jones is here. Hello.
Hi, Jessica Jones.
There you go. He says, "Hello, Joshua Poole." You misspelled Pod Boy, but that's all right. I'll let it slide. All right. So, Josh, where are we at on
Not even close. Born This Way.
Born This Way? Who let the dolphins out?
Baja
Okay.
Man.
So yeah, Born This Way.
All right. Born This Way. It is. I think you're all wrong, but I'm okay with it. It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, Josh, what we got next? We've got Paparazzi versus Government Hooker. Yeah. All right, Anthony, we're gonna let you start off on this one.
This is where I started trying to think outside of my own biases.
Okay.
And I'm like, personally, I like it when she gets weird and wacky, so I would go with Government Hooker usually, but I'm gonna give it to Paparazzi.
Okay.
Because I think it's objectively probably better and more popular, and most people would like that. Whereas a lot of people would listen to Government Hooker and think this is weird.
Well, but we're more
wacky-dacky.
concerned with what you like, not with what you think everybody else would like. So,
Well, I also really like all of these songs, so it's not.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like for
They're all
me,
your favorite songs.
they're all my favorite songs. I am
This is
God-
my jam.
I have
This
so
is
many.
my jam.
I have so many favorite songs.
Right.
Like every song's your favorite song.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
and one of my favorite movies. Every movie is my favorite movie.
There you go.
Mhm.
Just do
Nothing
it.
wrong with being passionate, man.
I'm just a overall Gaga stan boy, so it doesn't matter for me. I'm gonna go.
You're a
with
little monster.
I
Are you?
am. I'm gonna go with
Show your
Paparazzi.
teeth.
I
Good
like
song,
that.
by the
That's
way.
a good song.
You're going with which one, Paparazzi?
I went with Paparazzi.
All right.
Yep.
What about you, Johnny? What do you think?
So I do remember when this came out. I actually had my own laptop at home when this video came out. I'm gonna go with Paparazzi on this one, and the other one of the reasons because Government Hooker. I just don't really, when the song doesn't do anything for me, I don't listen to it.
Okay.
And there's some songs I do like on Born This Way, but Paparazzi, I like it more because she started to do things that she kind of wanted to do, like the old being injured and had like the gold with the cerebral palsy thing. I mean, that was so weird, but it was so wonderful at the same time.
The video
and
was cool.
It was the starting point of her. You can tell she started having some control in what she wanted to do, because I imagine that whole deal with the crutches, and I bet that had to come from her, because everything before that was stock industry stuff, and this was
exactly spot on. Nobody else is going to come up with that kind of crazy stuff, and she's going to be like, "Oh, sure." That's totally her creation.
Mhm.
You're exactly right.
I'm going to go with Paparazzi. It is a good song, and the video was done really well. So whoever directed that did a great job.
There you go.
Paparazzi was the beginning of her going, "Oh, well, this is doing really well. Maybe I can do what I want to do." So she learned from that, and I'm assuming that's how Born This Way came to be.
Interesting. I like that. Josh, what do you think?
Okay, so I thought the vocals on Paparazzi sounded like Gwen Stefani, especially the sing talk part.
That one's the one that you think sounds like Gwen Stefani. That's interesting.
I think that's interesting too.
Because I was thinking a different song, but
Same.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mention Gwen
multiple
Stefani
songs
multiple
could
times.
sound, yeah.
So this was the first one that really sounded really like Gwen Stefani, and it's like, I like the vocal melody. It's a good stalker song. Government
Who
Hooker
doesn't like a good stalker song?
Government Hooker. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's do.
So, is this supposed to be a political or socially relevant song? Because it sounds like a 5-year-old expounding on government evils. It sounded like she probably is a very intelligent person.
Right.
She doesn't show it with her political references in this. It sounded like someone who just pulled up a book of governmental a book that had government words in it, and she just threw them in there to make it sound
an 8th grade civics book or something.
Yeah, pulled out a grade civics book, and the verse had some interesting keyboard work in it. But I think Trent Reznor did it better in 9 Inch Nails.
Funny you say that one, because I've got that one later too.
I heard 9 Inch Nails in that. It's like,
I've
okay,
got
so
that
this
later
is cool,
too.
but this sounds like they ripped off 9 Inch Nails.
Interesting. All right. So you're going with?
I'm gonna go with Paparazzi.
There you go. All right. So for me, well, actually, on Paparazzi, I like the dynamic of a slower song. I feel like the album kind of needed this. But still having, again, that bounce that I keep trying to describe as if nobody understands what I'm talking about, but obviously you do. Government Hooker, at first, I didn't really care for this one, but I will admit that the more I listen to it, the more I like it. But it is repetitive. It gets really repetitive.
And when you really listen to the lyrics, there's really nothing deep about what she's saying.
There's a lot of these songs. I'll say this on a lot of these songs on these albums. Most of the time, I'm not listening for her lyrical content. It's the beat of the song, the feel, the vibe, the mood that it sets, that kind of thing. That's what my ears hear first with Lady Gaga. And it's not until because she's a lot like, in some ways, Outkast, how like they could have a song and it could be like, what's the Hey-O or Hey-Ah, and it's actually dark material, but it's underneath this big old peppy. And that's a lot what Lady Gaga kind of does too.
Right.
In these two albums.
Well, see, so. I agree with you, but her songs to me just seem so not formulaic, but so similar in a lot of times that I'm having to look deeper than what the music is doing.
Right.
And also, as someone who's recorded music, I know she didn't play that and come up with most of that stuff.
Sure.
So I can't give her a whole lot of credit for the music and for the beats, because she has other people doing that.
Sure. Yep. Unlike, and good point, because unlike a lot of the other classic album clashes that we've done, this is the first one that you and I have done together on a pop artist.
Right.
Whereas we've had country and rock and all these things where there's a lot more hands-on, one-on-one co-work, if you will, on the project overall. Whereas, like you're saying, this is probably here's a beat that I came up with, put some lyrics to it, or have somebody help you put lyrics to it.
She probably had writers, and
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But yeah, it's not like she was like, okay, we should go from an E chord to a G to a yeah. All right, so let's go to the comments here and see what everybody else thinks.
What did you choose? Paparazzi?
Papa
Okay.
paparazzi.
I think we all picked paparazzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Murphy's.
Papa
By the way, that's what I used
Murphy.
to sing is Papa Murphy's
Nice.
instead of Papa.
Papa,
And it's never
Papa
left. It's been like 10
Murphy.
years and I still say it.
That's great. That's great. Oh, I see that Jessica has said hello to Joshua Poole, but I still haven't got a hello. I see how it is. All right. I'll remember that. Brian says, thank you, Anthony. I think Jared's trying to rig the show once in a while.
Right.
No, not at all. Chrissy says, paparazzi for me. Her VMA's performance was
I
the
forgot
blood.
about that.
Was with the blood, and it stood out. Cindy says paparazzi. Abigail says paparazzi. Chris Fiddler also agrees paparazzi. Julia says paparazzi.
You know, these,
Wow.
there's a lot of agreement on this,
Yeah.
Mhm.
on all these.
Yep.
I mean, there's clear winners on all of these songs.
Which I like.
Yeah.
I like because it makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and call this one.
We're going paparazzi.
Yep. Oh, before we move on, fun fact about Government Hooker though that I forgot to say. The male vocal inside the song that's talking down to her and telling her to get on the ground and be all dirty is actually her security guard. He was the one doing the vocals on that. And it's about Marilyn Monroe. I mean, that's kind of obvious blatantly on the lyrics of the song. She's talking about John F. Kennedy and all this other stuff.
Oh, their fling.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Josh, what we got?
What do we got? Oh, we're going to go to a break. Sweet. 'Cause I got to
break.
use the restroom.
Me too.
A pee and a puff.
That's right. Okay.
If you will. There we go. Finally. Hello, Jared. Yes, I see. See, you're just going to sit there and not tell me hello, see, and I was going to call you out for it, see, and that's what we did there, see. All right, we're going to take a quick break, get some refills, all that kind of stuff. Hope you'll do the same and join us when we get back. See you in a minute.
Hey musicians, do your shows need that extra layer of fun and excitement? Wow your fans with next level production and let Sunset Productions help you up your game. We can create custom and unique sound, lighting, and video packages designed just for you and your budget. Let's work together and give our community the shows they deserve. For more information, contact Jared Isaacs at Sunset Productions Springfield at gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Sunset Productions. Sunset Productions. Don't be a jukebox. Be an experience.
Hi, I'm John Bushmill. Have you been a victim of the Unsung Dreamers podcast? Have you suffered from emotional distress due to harassment? Are you tired of being ridiculed because of the size of your headstock? Have bottles of wine or banners gone missing from your performances? Then you may have a case. Bushmill and Associates are filing a class action lawsuit against the Unsung Dreamers. Stand up for your rights and be a victim no more. Give the Unsung Dreamers the boot with Bushmill and Associates. Call 1-800-555-F-DAN to see if you qualify for representation. Here at Bushmill and Associates, a bird in the hand is worth two in the Bushmill.
Bushmill and Associates is not an actual law firm. All claims made are solely for entertainment purposes. This advertisement is parody and should not be taken seriously by anyone at any time.
Classic rock coffee. Our coffee rocks.
What do you attribute a lot of the changes to, and at what point do you feel it's like, okay, it's time to pull the plug and it's just snake bit and I've got to call it?
Yeah, that was like that. It was very emotional for me to try Bender and fail at it the first time.
What are some things that you noticed different in the scenes between Kansas City and Springfield?
I discovered that like they were going to steamroll me and not have me come in. And then to get even less was just an absolute slap in the face. And it's one of those where it's like, I'm never coming back. Man, and here's what's funny is like, it's more a phrase that I hate.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Take away sitting around at home writing songs or playing songs, or your work at School of Rock, when's the end for you as far as live music? Do you see that at all?
What? I didn't discuss any spoilers.
Hey, all right, we're back.
Woo!
Let's see here. Don't know where Josh is, so I'll go ahead and hit the button of power here. We've got Poker Face versus Judas. Let's see here. Johnny, what do you think? Judas or Poker Face, and why?
So I'm trying to remember if it was. Did Just Dance come out before Poker Face?
Yeah.
I think it did, didn't it? But didn't Poker Face make a bigger impression than Just Dance?
I would say yes.
So I remember when that came out, I really, really enjoyed the song ever since the first time I heard it. It's still a great song. I have noticed when she sings it live, it's not exactly the best because the way the song's made is a lot of low, like the verse being, is just, that's a hard projection to make it sound good with a single voice track live.
Correct.
As much as that song's great, it's not very good live.
It doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate well, but that's fine. Some songs are not made to be that way. But unfortunately, she had to perform that song live for a long time, and it was never. It just goes to show that some songs are made for album and some it just shouldn't be performed live. I think it's a great song. With Judas, man, I remember when that song came out. I've never actually really liked the song. I thought it was weird. Like I said before, though, the album was with a lot of statements she wanted to say and get a lot of expression out. Now it's actually kind of good because we get the opinions of this album, and I have a lot of my opinions on the first album. I'm going to go with Poker Face because, and I don't know if she wrote that one. I really don't. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe she did. It's still a good song today, so I'm going to go with Poker Face. I don't really have much more to say. I like the low deep. That was was definitely a grabber. Her highs are really good on the chorus. The chorus is very catchy. It's just a good song that's going to sell. The whole album was that way. Very catchy on the choruses.
True. And it's interesting too how she can take a simple word like poker face and the way she presents it with the poker face,
to add syllables and make it actually fit for the it's cool stuff.
Yep.
It is a good song.
I would agree. Anthony, what do you think? Poker Face or Judas?
This one was hard.
Really?
It was.
Okay.
Poker Face obviously is the more commercially successful song and the more popular song. And Judas was a different song to say the least. It's like her first example on this album for really going in a biblical direction with the lyrical content and basically comparing her love interest at the time to being equivalent to Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed Jesus, and being in love with the betrayal. And fun fact, I
love fun facts.
Fun fact, the music video for Judas is played by Daryl from The Walking Dead.
There you go.
Yeah, before he was Daryl from The Walking Dead.
I did not know that.
He was probably
Are you sure wasn't his other brother Daryl?
No, it was Daryl, the crossbow guy from The Walking Dead. He's in Judas. Judas, to me, I was watching some people react to these albums in preparation for this, and I agree with one of their sentiments. They said that when Judas's beat kicks in at the first Judah, it sounds like a giant robot, like fighting you in a video game, is what it kind of sounds like. It sounds like a big boss battle and like a robot's marching towards you, which is funny because on tour she ended up performing Judas live in concert in a giant robot mech suit. I was like, oh, that's neat.
There you go.
It was just interesting that ended up being actualized. I ultimately ended up actually going with Poker Face in the end.
Okay.
As my choice for basically everything that Johnny said.
And she also had that I think the videos, and she buy a pool on that video.
Yeah, and she's got the Great Danes. And
she has that spandex suit on with
platinum
the glitter.
Blonde, like
very
Vulcan
iconic.
cut.
It was a good look. She looked beautiful in
the
that
blue
video.
swimsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blue swimming suit, wasn't
this
it?
thing.
Yes,
the
you had-
monocle.
Johnny, you were crushing hard on her back in the day, weren't you?
Oh gosh, yeah, she was. Oh yeah, she was. And you got to remember, I love music, so just so you know, female artists,
She was
female
hitting on all
musicians
cylinders.
always. I like female musicians and artists because they get to do something that is mostly ran by male in the industry, and a lot of executives that have to for the music industry are men, and females have to deal with those things that are a lot harder than men going through it. Like, oh well, you are pretty. Is there something I can get in return? There's a whole lot of quid pro quo that goes along with stuff, especially like with Kesha. So,
oh boy, oh no,
yeah.
I think it's great. I like female artists and they do stuff special just because they have that. That's a harder time for them because of the way the world works. So I think it's great.
For me, Judas sounds a lot like a great 90s throwback type of sound, which I enjoyed a lot. Here you go, Anthony. Fun fact. The artwork for the single was created by Gaga using Microsoft Word. The song is about honoring one's inner darkness in order to bring oneself into the light. I like Judas well enough. They're both singles from each perspective album. But my vote is Poker Face. My only note that I've got written down for Poker Face is the line, "Bluffing with my muffin."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah.
I forgot about that. Well, even if you
And it
ask,
sounds very Gwen Stefani-ish on that part too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
BANANAS, bluffing with my muffin.
It is a very like it's what do they always say that Gwen Stefani's type of talking in her songs is like baby gibberish. It's
Right.
like baby talk. What
Right.
they call that. That was very popular at that time.
Yes, you're
because
exactly
she was
right.
still soloing by herself, getting along with. I mean, it wasn't even in No Doubt really at that time.
Correct.
So that made sense to go when you create something new. You take from what's already been done and make it your own. So I mean, you're gonna snag stuff because it's a popular thing to do. Where do you think she learned how to sing from? All of those bands. I'm sure she sang No Doubt when she was young. I mean,
Sure.
you got to think where her inspiration probably came from a lot of that.
Very good point.
I mean, if I could be wrong about this, I'm pretty sure Poker Face is either her most or second most successful commercially song ever, except probably Bad Romance.
Bad Romance. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those are the two songs most people would think of when you think of Lady Gaga. You think of either Rama, Rama, or you think of Mama, Mama.
I never really. That's crazy that they're.
That they both had that kind of mumbly gibberish stuff. Yeah.
That kind of like deep male backing sound of them going like mama and like doing those kind of noises. Yeah, right. That sound is what people attribute to Lady Gaga when they think about her.
That is true.
Josh, what do you think, sir?
All right. So I had mentioned before that like
Get ready for the
Dance-
hate.
not on, well, maybe some. On Poker Face was when I really realized who Lady Gaga was. I'd heard Just Dance, but I hadn't associated with anyone particular. But Poker Face like made her superstar to the world. So again, it's iconic. It's catchy. It's easily remembered, but it does have that supersonic rap
And
type thing.
hypnotic.
That's Just Dance.
Supersonic.
That's Just Dance.
No, that's in there too.
How psychotic. Hypnotic.
You're Anthony. You're taking the lyric that I just said. Literally, he's meaning the
Bluffing
staccato
with
of the
my
song.
muffin in
Right.
it.
Oh,
The
the bridge part.
supersonic.
The bridge of the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Yeah, same concept, same sound.
Very keyboard techno heavy.
Yeah.
All of it was very keyboard heavy.
Electric
but-
synth pop.
Yeah, but I mean, supersonic goes back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So yeah, that's Poker Face and Judas. I'm sorry, the first Judas. This, it's like, oh come on! From that point, I couldn't take the song seriously, and then I'm sorry.
It's go. Yeah.
I like the verse riffs on it, the keyboard riffs on it, but it when it got to the chorus, it just turned into like a regular club song for me. And the biblical references growing up in the church,
Right. This is
whoever wrote it has absolutely no concept of anything biblical because they were all over the place. They weren't attributed right. There's nobody called Bloody Mary in the Bible, so all of her references were wrong in the name and it's like like expecting someone who speaks Spanish to understand you just because you're speaking in a Spanish accent. Because
this is Josh fired up, everybody.
No, I'm just saying
He's heated. He is
no,
upset.
I'm not upset on it. I thought it was laughable.
He's an angry Christian mother.
No.
Look
I have
at
no
him. Look at him.
No, I just
He's gonna write a letter.
I
He
even
wants to
think-
speak to the manager.
No, I'm thinking that like even if there was any controversy, religious controversy, it could have been laughed off because it's so obvious that she has no idea what she's talking about with the biblical references that there's no danger. It's like, yeah, well, okay, so she's making some biblical references, but they're so out of whack and out of
He's being Karen about this, right?
No.
Karen.
But
come
a
on.
little bit.
I'm just kidding. You're
No,
fine.
I mean,
Yeah,
this-
what you're saying is absolutely correct.
Yeah, she had whoever wrote it had no concept, no idea about what the biblical references were, so it would be ridiculous to get upset about her. It's just like, someone getting upset that someone's speaking Spanish and having an accent, thinking people will understand them. I don't know. Does that make any sense to
No,
you
it
guys?
does make sense.
It makes sense. But people did get offended by it, which was the silly part.
And that I agree. That was silly because you're not going to get offended by someone who's an idiot on this stuff.
Maybe that's what makes him more upset is if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it.
Right.
Maybe
But
that's
the
why.
case. That's the case in a
Well,
lot of things in life. The people that say things first or the loudest are usually the ones that know the least about
Right.
whatever they're talking about.
Yeah, and again, the threat is not from her; it's from people who actually know scriptures and
Sure.
pervert the scriptures.
Right,
That's what people should be upset about when someone comes along and makes
They're
ridiculous
misrepresenting
statements.
your
Yeah, like in "We Are the World," there's a line that says, "By like God has shown us by turning stone into bread."
Right.
Oh,
That
We Are
never
the
happened in
World
the
song ahead,
scriptures.
everybody?
That never happened in the scriptures. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
geez, did you ever read the Bible on this one? So yeah, can't get mad at that.
Sure.
We are the world.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
Bob
so
Dylan's part was the best. His mean mugging.
How many people are in that song total? Do you know?
Oh,
I
Oh
don't
God,
know.
it's like
gosh,
30 something,
yeah.
I think.
Huey
Yeah.
Lewis. I mean, they had
Mhm.
everybody. They had the boss
Dylan.
on there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I go for Poker Face because the other one actually made me laugh because of it was so silly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I would have guessed that for you.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's go over here to the comments.
So we all did Poker Face, right?
We all did Poker Face.
We all did Poker Face.
Some of us did enjoy Judas, and some of us didn't. Let's see what the people say. Hello, people. Cindy says Poker Face is catchy, but Judas has my vote for lyrics and music video. Abigail says Poker Face has always been one of my favorite songs. It's a good one to have as a favorite. Julia says Judas. Dave Gates, hey, what's up, brother? Dave says Poker Face. Cindy says Poker Face. And Abigail says, can we make Anthony's Fun Facts a regular segment? Yes, we sure can. Brian says Poker
I'm down
Face.
for
Kim says Poker Face. How can you not choose it when Weird Al did a parody of it? Brian says, true statement, Jared.
I didn't know he did a
That's
parody of it.
That's when you know you've made it. Weird Al's parodying you.
Right,
It
yeah.
used to be that way in the 90s. If Weird Al got your stuff, like Amish Paradise.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was like, he tipped your hat to that. That was what that meant.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Plus the old repetitive joke, Poker Face.
Right.
Poker Face. Yeah.
How do you wake her up? You poke her face.
Oh, good Lord. Christy says, didn't know my name changed. Did I say something other than Christy Pressler? Sorry.
You said Christy Pretzel.
No, I didn't. All right, so let's call it.
Mama.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. So Poker Face wins that one out. Next. I just want to keep going with that. We've got nothing else I can say versus Americano. Johnny, what do you think?
So I don't even know if this song even had a video because I liked the song because I listened to the entire album. So I started to like the songs. This song was never on the radio that I can remember, but there is a music video for it, which she looks fantastic. I think she looks great, but it's almost not her. I mean, she is very beautiful in that video, but you see that just 2 years later and what she does, you can obviously tell that was not her. And
I didn't know there was a video for AA either.
Yeah, there is, and she's like in a house and she's making food and she has like an apron on and then she's walking down the street. I mean, there's a video for it, and I never heard it on the radio once. I love the song, and then of course with Americano, I don't really have any input. Like I said, it's really hit and miss on some of those songs for her that I don't, because they either I like them or I just don't like them. So,
Right.
but I like Nothing Else I Can Say. I still like that song. I like the way the chorus goes. Her voice is a little higher with like a falsetto type of thing. I don't know if anybody else really likes it, but I like that song a lot, and it has a video.
Fair enough. I guess I'll go ahead and go. It's for or is that, am I saying that right? AA. AA. Spelled with an E. Odd. So this song doesn't belong on the album, in my opinion. It brings the mood of the overall album and the concept of the album down. It's about breaking up with a partner and finding a new one. And it kind of breaks the bad girl / party atmosphere that the rest of the album has created so far. Like we've talked about the setting being very much so for the club and that kind of stuff. And then it's like, and then you put this on there, that seems kind of odd. And even like with what Johnny was saying, like it's kind of a Susie Homemaker video, if you will. She's in the kitchen and that kind of setting, which is like, wait a minute, weren't we just in the club? She has
very short hair for it's probably, I mean, it was check it out though. Watch it. It's not a bad video. It's very high in contrast with the color, like a nice 60s portrayal of like 60s with the green couches and stuff, but it's modern and it's a good video. It really is good, but it's no, I don't think anybody really knows it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was not familiar with that song until this week. And for Americano, I actually really like the mariachi and techno sounds and influences on this song. It's actually influenced lyrically by the repeal of Proposition 8, which defined marriage as a union between opposite-sex couples. So this was her speaking out against that. Again, I relate to Gaga more musically than lyrically. For whatever reason, I don't even know. But I actually enjoyed Americano more as a song than AA. So my vote is Americano. Anthony, what do you think?
For AA, one thing I noticed about the song, it sounds very, now you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. To me, it sounds very, very 90s. As far as like the beat and the pitch and I don't know, just the tempo. It sounds like it would be a song from like the late 90s.
It sounded kind of like a Hootie and the Blowfish song to me.
Well, it just sounds like a song that you would typically think of in the 90s, like high school girls driving around in their convertible car on the coast of California, up and down the highway. Like that's what that song kind of sounds like. Easy listening, which is an abrupt change, like you said, from the rest of the album, where it's been like dance, pop, club music. Americano, I do also like the hints to Latin influences and stuff like that. Growing up listening to a lot of Latin music since I lived in the border of Mexico and Texas, and I used to hear that stuff all the time. So hearing that kind of instrumental sound in a song wasn't anything different to me. Hearing it on a Gaga song is even better. One thing that I noticed in the song Americano, the vocal choices that she makes with which note she's going for create so much tension. And the song itself, I don't think any other artist would have been able to make a song like that work. And she gets away with it because it's her, and she usually does weird things like that. If anybody else were to do a song like Americana, it would be, people would hate it completely. But I actually think it was pretty successful. Plus, my name's in it, so how can I dislike it? I'm gonna go with. I went back and forth on this one. I'll probably go with Americano. My original choice was AA, but I'm going to go with Americano because I didn't really think about what you said earlier about it being such an abrupt change with the course of the album, because it really is. It doesn't sound like anything else that we've heard up until that point. I
think it's a great song, and I think that it would fit well on a different album. It just was like, wait, what? Why?
It would be good on like Joanne or something. But
Joshua. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah.
There
there I am. Well, I definitely have some ideas on this.
Oh, do tell.
So I like the progression on AA. I thought it was a nice progression. I was a feel good love song in my opinion.
This is a soft. This is like a little softer song.
Yep,
For like an innocent side of it.
Yeah.
I honestly think it could have been a single.
Yeah.
I really do.
I love the song.
And as far as you thinking the video being totally different, her record label may have been thinking, well, if this style of like Poker Face doesn't work,
What else do we have on the table?
We can market her this
thing,
way.
yeah.
Yep.
So when you guys got to talking about that, I was like, that was odd. So that occurred to me just a little bit ago. And Anthony's right. This song reminded me a lot of Ace of Base, which was a 90s.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yep. It had a very Ace of Base
Yeah.
feel.
I saw the sign.
Yep.
Yes.
And it opened
So
up my
yeah, kind of
eyes, I
a
saw the sign.
It's very
No
90s
doubt.
pop.
Yep, is
Yeah,
very
no
90s
doubt.
pop.
Same era. Yep.
Okay, so Americano. Techno klezmer music.
Yeah.
It starts out as techno klezmer music with Spanish lyrics. And then I said, is this a joke? Because it is all over the place. To me, the only saving grace for Americano was the flamenco guitar work. I thought the song was throwing in Spanish stuff just because they thought it was cool, and I thought it was very pretentious.
Actually, I think it's Italian.
Nope.
Was
Spanish.
it Spanish? Okay.
Yep. Yep. So I thought the song was kind of pretentious. I think it tried to be smarter than it actually was.
Yeah.
So in my opinion,
Again,
AA
this harkens back to what I was saying though about why I kind of don't associate lyrically first with Gaga versus musically, because I think they try to pass it off as they'll never know, it doesn't matter. And it's
Right.
like, well, if you don't make it matter, it's not going to.
right. And you know,
That is so true.
yeah, to me as a musician, I can listen to any type of style of music, as long as, and even if it's styles that I don't like, if it has a message that I do like,
right,
I will get into it. I'll listen to rap if it's got a message to
Yep.
it. I'll listen to anything if it's got a message to it, and I'll fight through stuff that I don't like if I'm intrigued by what they're saying.
Right.
And when someone, to me, this was clearly trying to be more than it was, trying to be smarter than it was.
Yeah.
Trying to have a depth, but there was no real depth to it. Yeah.
So your vote?
My vote is AA because I think it was just a good pop love song.
Okay.
Seems like a lot of her. It's a couple of things you've said now that she hasn't been accurate on some of the stuff she's sang on. That's 2 songs from that album now that you said.
That's 3 songs in my
3
opinion.
songs.
Yeah. And
So
there's still more to come on that
Yeah.
too, because
that makes me
yeah.
really wonder why that happened the way that happened like that. If
I-
she had so much thought to put into it and had her own thing, it's kind of weird.
It
actually.
is
Okay.
because it's a very juxtaposition on these lyrics in this song matters. These not so much.
Right.
It's really weird and all in the same album.
Yeah.
What,
It's odd.
what's interesting and how I think she probably wrote, she had an idea and a concept, like
Mhm.
Born This Way. Let's do a song about being born this way.
Yep.
And then other people wrote it and threw like cliches and catchphrases in that really didn't examine the depth. I mean, Born This Way, well, there's a song later on that, you know, could have been really interesting, but the hook on it was so ridiculous. And I think you know which one I'm talking
I'm
about.
going to write it down
Yeah.
and see if
Yeah. It's so ridiculous that it undercuts what could have been a great song.
Oh, probably not that one. I have to look at my notes to see all the track listing.
Yeah.
It's not that one, is it?
Nope.
No, okay. Anyway,
So yeah, AA is fine.
all right, let's go over
That's
here.
2 for 2. It's a tie, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Oh, gotcha. Christy says Americano, and Julia says Americano.
You get
All right.
wrong.
Americano.
Don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled.
Maybe I'm just persuasive. I don't know. It's not me.
Because you know, with some of these songs, I pulled up the lyrics and I read through the lyrics. It's like, well, that makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
That doesn't connect to that.
I listened on our playlist
Mm-hmm.
available on Spotify and iTunes. So I listened to the one on iTunes and it actually has like the lyrics that scroll along with it. And so that's
Right.
how I listened to it and was hearing it and reading it at the same time.
Yeah,
And,
and you-
same.
and-
Some of these
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I didn't even know those were the words. And some of them I'm like, why are these the words?
Yeah, because they're cliches and they try to be deep, but
Yeah.
they're cliches.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. Like I said, it's almost a juxtaposition where like they're trying to be deep, but at the same time they're trying to be surface level with it, which is why they're like, if it's not exactly accurate, or if nobody gets it, it's okay.
Right, and which I think
still got a sick beat.
And maybe again, I haven't listened to a whole lot of her stuff. Maybe she progresses as an artist and actually gets into some deep stuff. But if you're going to try to get into these deep meanings and like Born This Way and a couple of others later on,
right, you
could really make some great deep statements. But they like just go touch on it and then it's like dance.
I think it's also important. Well, that's the thing. I think it's also important to remember, like, the criticism of how deep or meaningful the lyrical content of Born This Way in general is collectively. Keep in mind, at the end of the day, she's not creating like a deep, heartfelt, like, she's wanting people to dance. She's making club music.
Right. She's not writing the next I'll always love you.
It doesn't really, it doesn't lend itself well to try to combine those two elements together. And
well,
it proves difficult.
So my question would be, why not? I mean, if you're wanting to do an anthem about self-love, self-acceptance, gay pride, why are you going to sell that community short by giving them just surface and platitudes?
You know, it makes me wonder if when she wrote those, I'm assuming she wrote that entire album herself.
Nope. On
Born This Way?
Nope.
Lyrics, anything at all?
She had some hand in writing.
Well, she had so there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Co-authorships.
Thank you.
And ghostwriting.
Yes. But her name is listed on almost all of them. So I'm sure she had to have some input on some of them. Yeah.
I'm assuming whenever she wrote all that, they were like, wow, this is quite the change here. We still need to keep it somewhat good for radio play. So it was a half and half thing, kind of.
This is testing the waters.
Yeah, it was kind of like,
especially for what's to come. Like what she's currently putting out now is a step even further from this, like very singer-songwritery, and this is kind of that transition.
Correct.
Like
that is correct.
A toe in the water.
I disagree. You can have a song like "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera, which is deep and powerful, and still mean a lot to people, and the audience will accept it.
But also, that's not a club song where you're going to dance and rave to.
Well, but you can. Hey Ya is. And there's deep meaning in those lyrics there.
Are you talking about
Hey Ya?
Andre 5000's?
Yep.
Whenever
Outkast?
whenever Outkast did their little solo thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a meaningful and dark song.
I'm one of those people that you don't want to sell people short. And if it's a good song and you can have good lyrics, and your audience will accept it.
I think a reason why maybe Born This Way sold short is that they wrote it in 12 minutes.
Okay. Well, I agree again.
Apparently, it got written in 12 minutes, and then it was like Immaculate Conception. They started pumping them out. After that.
How long did she go on tour for the Fame? I'm assuming they pushed that pretty hard.
I would imagine.
So it may even been a conflict of, we got to have another album out. It's been 3 years. We need to get an album out now. You're one of the biggest superstars in the world.
Contractual obligations.
Yeah.
Maybe that had something to do with it too, and they had to rush things. Maybe
Interscope is
because she did go a long time on that tour.
Yeah.
I mean, like Metallica on the Black Album, they went like 3.5 years on tour for that album, and then they came back. It's like,
but at the
next album was Load.
Right, but at the same time, like if you're on tour for that long, it's because stuff is working. It's successful. So it's not like, hey, we need another album to because we're losing steam. They weren't losing steam.
No,
they weren't losing steam.
So,
and the music industry is not necessarily known for its depth of scope and
that is absolutely correct.
So, so they're not really interested in that sort of thing.
Yep.
They're much more about platitudes and rah-rahs.
Okay,
so let's go on.
Speaking of which,
yes. Next song.
Americana one, right?
Yes, Americana one.
Yep. So now we've got Beautiful, Dirty Rich versus Hair.
This is the first one that was really easy.
You think?
Really easy.
Okay, so I'll start. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful, Dirty Rich. She wrote the song while she was doing lots of drugs and trying to, quote unquote, figure things out. It's about her experiences struggling on the Lower East Side of New York. Hair, according to Gaga, the melody of Hair resembles the work of, I can't believe I'm going to say this, metal bands such as Kiss and Iron Maiden, and is also influenced by Bruce Springsteen. And I've got LMAO, exclamation point, exclamation point.
How?
These are her words. This was inspired by her experience as a teenager when her parents wanted her to dress a certain way. Her hair was the only way she could express herself. I don't hear Kiss. I don't hear Iron Maiden. I barely hear Bruce Springsteen. I think it's all a stretch. I think it's all crap. Not a fan of the song. Beautiful Dirty Rich gets my vote.
Oh.
By the way, after being a hairstylist for 16 years, I expected more from a song called Hair.
You were a hairstylist?
Yeah. For like 13 years.
You still got it?
16.
You still got the talent?
Well, yeah. I just don't do anything with it.
You should. That makes money.
It did. All right, so let's go to Johnny.
Okay, I agree with you on hair completely. Like I said, there's a few, and it's funny because now we talk about it. We talk about Born This Way, which from the beginning you'd think everything's going to aim towards that, but we've been finding more false stuff with that than with the Fame.
Right.
So it makes you think which one's more fake.
Right. Isn't that interesting? It's so true.
Beautiful Dirty Rich. I like the song, but I don't like. I get some of the meaning behind it, but when people don't really know what the song's about, it makes it think that that's what it's about.
Right.
Being rich, the fame.
Right.
Everyone thought she liked glamorous, shiny, fun, expensive things, and
which she does.
That's not what
she does, but she's saying
correct.
That's not where I started at. That's not
right.
It's not what the song is about at all.
Yeah, but it's funny how if you listen to it and don't, like you were saying earlier, people don't really pay attention to what the words are trying to say sometimes besides what the chorus says. So I would go with Beautiful Dirty Rich.
Okay. Lisa Betancourt in the comments. Jared, you only hate Hair because it's a Broadway musical. Let's be real here.
I have that on vinyl, actually. I have my dad's vinyl of Hair.
Nice.
I've never even listened to it, and I don't even. Was it a Broadway thing?
Yep.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yep, sure enough. Joshua.
So, 4 songs later, we finally get that sick beat we were promised.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you know how in like Love Games he talks about this beat is sick,
right?
So far, no fun with that sick beat until Beautiful Dirty Rich. So I got to say, I like the funk elements in it. I thought the bass in there was pretty cool. I thought the lyrics were a little lame at points and repetitive. And it more Gwen Stefani style vocals. But I really hated Hair. Really hated it. I mean, this is the song that I was talking about that could have had a lot of potential, and then it turned into a 12-year-old singing about my hair.
It's like it was all rushed. It was like they had all this great material lined up, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're seeing profit, and then the greed of the industry," and it was like, "Let's get this out."
The song had potential to have depth, talking about striving for personal identity and acceptance. It was spoiled by vapid lyrics about being as free as my hair. It sounded more like a shampoo jingle than the song that inspires self-acceptance. I was actually laughing at the juvenile approach to the lyrics.
Did it make you want to shampoo your hair?
Right.
Yeah, I did watch it before I came here, so I guess there was some motivation.
There you go. Then
but yeah, it sounded like a 12-year-old singing about her hair. Mommy and Daddy don't understand me. I want
hair. And then you're spot on. That's literally what it was about.
Right.
Anthony, what do you think?
I think you're all nuts. Hair is the better song here by a landslide. Dirty Rich Beautiful sucks. No, I think you're wrong.
You think Dirty Beautiful Rich sucks?
No, it's not.
It's not very.
I think Hair is one of my favorite songs on the album, and I love it. I actually like the lyrical content. I like the message behind it. I like the way it was delivered because I can relate to that kind of thing. Because one of the only things that me and a lot of my friends used to express ourselves was with our hair. It was like you do all these crazy wild things with your look.
Yeah,
when
like
you're
straighten it
or grow it out long, or you can color it different colors. I remember being platinum blonde in high school and then going for an auburn red, and then it all turned. It was listen, it was an experimental time. It didn't look good, but I was able to do it. And I think mainly because I think of who the song is aimed towards. teenagers would in particular would really like the lyrical concept
Sure.
of this song because it's aimed towards that group of people. That's who her audience and target demographic she was trying to reach to was. And the crowd I rolled with back in high school, that's what
They see
everybody
me
was all-
rolling.
right. I was part of the emo crowds. Everybody had crazy things. They'd razor cut their own bangs and do all these crazy things. And I was like,
belts.
yeah, expressing yourself through something so simple that's yours and nobody else can control. That's great.
Well,
I love
again,
it.
I don't have a problem with using hair as a metaphor, but I thought the metaphor was very weak. Again, like with the Broadway song Hair, that was a great metaphor because being hair and being a hippie and free love and peace, that whole counterculture thing, that song Hair represented that. I get that metaphor. I just thought the metaphor was presented in a weak fashion.
Plus, sonically, I think Hair is a better song.
Oh, it's kind of funny.
Sonically and production wise, I like saxophone. I'm a sucker for it. Anytime you
Yeah.
put the sound of saxophone in a
I
car,
agree. It was
I like
sonically better.
the sound during the bridge of the candid shot snare to build it and to keep that going throughout the song to keep the rhythm and the pace going. I was like, I enjoy it. It's sonically much better to listen to than dirty, dirty, rich, beautiful, bang, bang.
Yeah, and that's how. Yeah, that's how
heard
much
that
I
say
hated
bang,
Hair that I went for Dirty.
Wow.
Rich.
You know,
Because to me, as someone who likes lyrics, it was just like you could have gone someplace with it, and then you went somewhere easy.
Again, and this is harkening back to what I
Right.
keep saying, like, this is why I relate so much to the music more than the lyrics, because she's not delivered. Well, I
Sorry.
forgot about that. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Make a note of that for me, if you will. So it's because of stuff like that.
Right.
Because like on times where it's like, okay, here's your chance to give me something lyrically
right
with context, and it doesn't. It's
Right.
like, okay, well then I'm not going to pay much attention to your lyrics. Like, hey, yeah, I'm beautiful, dirty, rich, cool. I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful, dirty, rich. You know what it is. It's just that surface song. You're not expecting much. This I was expecting more of, and it didn't deliver.
So it's kind of a thing where it's like I'd rather have an empty, meaningless thing than something that's
Trying to be
slightly more than anything, more than nothing.
For me,
Yeah, I think
I'd
if
rather have
you're-
nothing than a little bit.
Yep,
I don't agree.
I'd rather go through. I'd rather watch an entertaining movie than a movie that's trying to make a point but makes it really badly.
I guess my point is, Beautiful, Dirty, Rich isn't entertaining.
Oh, I think it is.
I don't think it's a good song.
I like.
I don't think it's.
That's
it's
why
the
I
best
think
either.
I'd take Hair any day because it's at least a good song. It sounds nice. It's sonically pleasing and it's got like a soft message to it. Whereas Beautiful, Dirty, Rich,
I
doesn't
guess
give
we'll
me
just have to
anything.
agree to disagree.
You know,
Right.
it's funny because back in the anyway up till you remember 2000, what was this, 2010 or 11, this album came out for Hair with Hair, for Born This Way. The way the expression was done way back was your hair. Now you have tattoos and things to self-expression. When I was in high school, it was spike belts, hair, and I wanted to be different from everyone else. And it was a way, but it's kind of funny because now that I think about it, hair is because that's what it used to be. You could always tell someone by their hair.
Yeah.
And hair used to be cut that hair. It's actually, it's kind of interesting if you think about it. It might have more meaning to it than what we think because times have changed on that. So I don't know, maybe not.
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying though, that times have changed on the ways of self-expression and that kind of thing, self-identity. Christy says, beautiful, dirty, rich. Julia agrees. And Cindy says, sax, now hearing Kenny G. Songbird, anybody? Nope. Okay, next.
That's the first one that I've gotten wrong.
Calling it.
Beautiful, dirty, rich.
We're going to play that one on the way home, by the way, Anthony, just so that I can
Thank
show you how
you.
wrong you are.
No, I'll be jamming. I'll be jamming.
We ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Oh, commercial.
So let's take a break. I think when we come back, we're going to have a little conversation and get to know Anthony. Let you guys get to know Anthony a little bit. We might even change things up a little bit on that. So stick around. We got some more fun coming your way.
bigger, better, badder brawl room.
Hey, it's Jody with Rewind Records. This week I wanted to bring out some of my favorites. Growing up, it was all about soul and funk, and this is probably one of my favorite albums. It's the Roadrunner album by Junior Walker and the All-Stars. I'm a blues guy, and Jimmy Reed's one of my favorite blues people. This is a very, very rare Jimmy Reed album. The tunes on the back of this album, you don't see these. I love listening to this. And then, of course, I'm an 80s kid, so that's the Off the Wall album. I think that might have been the first one, maybe, something like that. Yeah, keep supporting Rewind Records. Keep listening to good music.
Hey, it's Jody with Rewind Records, and I just want to say thank you for all the support. It's been 4 or 5 months now that we've been able to supply you with a new kind of music. I just want to let you know that at Rewind Records in Marshfield, Missouri, 1100 Spur Drive, Suite 120, I'm located in an antique store, kind of like a booth. It's an 8x8. But come on in there. I've got all kinds of different music. We've got equipment. And mainly, I just want to say thank you. So find us on Facebook. Shoot us a message. Until next time, keep playing that good music.
All right, so we are back. Let's take a break from some of this Lady Gaga-ness for just a minute, and we're gonna get to know Mr. Anthony Cano. Let me hit all these buttons here, and we're gonna do something a little different. You ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, you muted me. Hey,
I keep hitting the wrong.
I can't do my job if the people can't hear me. Jeez.
All right, well, let the people speak. So here's the deal. In case you don't know, the reason Anthony is here, there's two reasons. One, he's a big Lady Gaga fan, and he's got a special day coming up. It's going to be his birthday on Tuesday. And so,
happy birthday.
Right. So this is kind of a little bit of a special treat to have him on for one of his favorite artists.
I'm going to be 23.
23?
Right. You wish.
I'm going to be 33.
I've been at my last job for 25 years.
Right.
Old man.
So, and also, again, for those of you who may not know, Anthony has been my partner for the last almost 8 years. So it's going to be kind of weird for me to interview him. So I've got something special for you.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Where's your hit your button, Josh?
Okay, all right there.
No, we'll do this.
Do this,
and,
producer.
and that, and then we'll do.
You gonna switch me over?
Yeah, if I could figure this all out.
You're gonna have to,
There we
because I
go.
have no control over that.
There we
stuff.
go.
Hey, Anthony, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I probably need to come down a little bit in that, don't I?
Yeah, I'm
You're
working
gonna
on
adjust that? Okay.
I'm gonna adjust the camera just for Tara.
So I'm. So I see you're into sports.
Only for the next 2 weeks because I like watching the Olympics.
Oh, is that going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. USA. Yeah, we were talking about that. You are really excited about the swimming.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like watching the Olympics. I always
Specifically
have.
diving.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I also like swimming.
Yeah.
And shot put and.
Does the U.S. win? Do we win anything in the Olympics ever?
Oh, yeah.
lot.
Oh,
We
yeah,
do.
we're-
Good.
we're-
I was hoping that we did. I don't ever watch it.
I
so.
think we won the most in the Summer Olympics for quite a long time, for decades.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
we do really well in the Summer Olympics.
So I guess we'll just jump in with the standard first question.
Okay.
What's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart? Are you team fruit, or team
Nope.
other?
I'm team other. It is the brown sugar cinnamon.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Does that
the best
cause
one?
But it has to be cheap brand.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's got to taste like cardboard and cinnamon.
Okay.
It's great.
Well,
I
does
love it.
that cause problems at the homestead or?
No, because we don't really get Pop Tarts that often at
Ah,
home. Most of the Pop Tarts stay here in the studio. Yeah, Jared's wrong. He's garbage for thinking that the fruit is the way to go, and you need to have like a butterfruit and dough tart dream. No, it's all
No.
about the cinnamon brown sugar.
Okay.
100%. Eat them cold.
Well, follow up
Yes.
question: do you don't put butter on them? I'm assuming since you
I've never tried it.
No,
maybe I will.
Butter only goes on the non-frosted blueberry.
on the non-frosted blue. Well, hold up. We're going to ask you these questions. You just
Non-frosted
wait.
Pop Tart. What kind of garbage?
Grandma's house.
She scrapes the frosting off.
No, she bought them that way.
Oh my goodness.
She got confused at the grocery
And they're actually
store.
less healthy for you than the frosted ones.
Yeah.
They're
Somehow.
So, Anthony, do you play any musical instruments, or are you just?
I play a mean skin flute.
Well, we'll have to ask Jared if that's true.
Let's see. I used to play snare drum for a hot minute in school.
Really?
I
Marching
always-
band?
No, just regular band, like elementary band.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
like
really-
it was a hot second.
Okay.
I did take guitar class in high school. They said I had the fingers for it because
Yeah.
I'm all linked. Hey.
Oh my goodness, what we got going on here? Oh, look at that.
Yay, fire hazard.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Where am I at?
Happy birthday, dear Anthony. Happy birthday to you.
Hurry up before we burn the place down.
Hey.
There you go.
So I guess we're having cake.
Thank you all. I will enjoy this as soon as the interview portion is over.
All
No,
right.
you have to eat it while
Right,
you're
yes. Okay.
answering questions. We can hear the
I don't have a-
smacking.
I don't have a fork.
Well, you can use your hands.
So where were we at? What was the question?
We were talking about musical instruments.
Oh, I always wanted to play the saxophone,
Mhm.
but my family couldn't afford to get me a saxophone, so I never learned.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I played snare drum for a hot second, and then I played guitar in high school. I was pretty decent at it, but then I just kind of fell off. I'm not really a musician, so it's kind of interesting. I know most of the people you have on this show are musicians.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I can hear myself. I think my
There you go. Yeah.
my mic went out for a second. I think this got disconnected.
Oh, yeah, it has a short in it.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
There you go.
Yep.
That's just
I'm not really
just don't touch it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm really a musician at all. I wouldn't credit myself as a musician. I can't really play much. I've dabbled. I've played like a couple chords on something once in a while, but you know, I think it's different to have someone like me on the show, where I think most of the people on your show are tied to the local music scene. I am not.
Right. Well, is music a part of your life, or is that something that Jared just?
I think it's more so something that Jared is involved with. I'm not one for. Oh, thanks. I'm like the ideal picturesque casual radio fan, like not huge into like going to shows and stuff like that. I don't think I ever even went to a concert before meeting Jared. To which we've gotten an impressive resume of concerts under our belts in the last 8 years.
Excellent.
So what was your first concert that you went to? Do you know?
I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Guns N' Roses at Arrowhead Stadium.
Oh my goodness, that's a shocker.
With right? With who was the Alice in Chains opening?
Yeah.
That might have been the first one. Or it was Lita Ford at here in Springfield at the Shrine. I think.
Now,
I don't remember which one came first either. I know the first one was supposed to be a King Diamond show.
Now, do
Yeah.
you,
King
do you
Diamond.
actually,
No, the first one was supposed to be Rocklahoma.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I was
that
going to
was
see
the Lincoln Park.
I was going to see
Yeah.
Lincoln Park and Megadeth at Rocklahoma, and we got rained out.
Now, are these bands that you're actually interested in, or are these bands that you have to put up with because of?
I mean, it's bands where I'm familiar with their music as much as any casual person would be. Like,
Right.
I know a bunch of Guns N' Roses
Now, if
songs,
you-
but
if
I'm
you
not
had-
an Axl Rose.
If you had your choice of seeing whatever band and it wasn't up to Jared, who would you see?
I probably wouldn't go see a lot of rock bands, to be honest. I'd probably go see like pop people. No, I'm
Well,
not huge on
that's
Taylor
the same
Swift.
thing. I mean,
I've never been huge on Taylor Swift. I would love to go see Lady Gaga in concert. Honestly,
Right.
That'd be amazing. I've watched some of her arena shows from back in the day when she was on that like 2-year tour. Nuts. That looks like such a good show to be at. I would go see. Going more modern, I'd go see Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
There is a metal
Even though-
band that you've said that you would like to go see.
I would go see Rammstein.
Yep.
Oh really?
That sounds
Yes,
fun.
they're one. I'd love to see them.
Just
Only
for
in
the
the States every
production.
now and then, though.
Just for the production.
Yeah.
And
The theatrics are good.
there's probably a few others. If Michael was still alive, I'd go see Michael. Same thing with like Prince and stuff like that. But
What was your first album that you bought with your own money?
ooh, I'm trying to think. It was either 21 by Adele, or it was I don't remember the name of the song. It was a Britney Spears album. It was like her old one, like her old one that she first came out
The
with.
Hit Me Baby One More
That
Time.
might have
The one
been
that had the flower on the
the
disc?
one where she's sitting there and she's got
Mhm.
her in like the red top or whatever. That might have been. I think it was Adele's 21, and then I
Yeah.
bought a bunch of Gaga albums and then a few others. But I never bought that many albums because by the time I was old enough to purchase albums and was working a job, you downloaded it on
Right.
FrostWire
Yeah, that's
or LimeWire. So I'm
Oh, you're
I'm-
one of those.
I'm post album generation for sure.
Yeah, and that's real sad. I feel bad for you because you're never gonna feel that expectation of a whole album being released.
And yes, that and what we were saying earlier too about the track order
Mhm.
really doesn't matter as much now as it did back when there were actual vinyl albums and stuff or cassette tapes even, where it's like, okay, the first song matters, the last song matters, and where you flip the tape and in the tape
Mhm.
matters. So a lot of that is gone because you can just shuffle whatever you want on the playlist on iTunes or whatever now. So
And you can create your own on-demand listening, and then Spotify will make an algorithm based solely on what you like to listen to, and you'll never hear anything different.
yeah, and concept albums. You're
Oh,
not
man.
gonna be able
Yeah.
to do concept.
Chromatica. That's a concept album.
Well,
EP's the way to go anymore for a lot of people
yeah,
as well.
and
Mhm.
for a lot of reasons too, especially the short attention span that people have nowadays. So,
Very short.
Yep. Indeed. Josh, you're doing great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate.
I'm liking
that.
this.
So,
This is a nice change. I like this.
a toy company is making an action figure of you, Anthony. What 2 accessories does it come with?
Chocolate cake.
No, it comes with
Go ahead.
it comes with a 3DS
Yep.
and
Okay.
a phone.
3D, is that correct?
That's 100% correct.
100%
Yep.
correct.
It comes
Okay.
with a cell phone and a 3DS.
I was going to
and
say internet. He's got to have an internet connection.
it also
Right.
it also comes with a pair of Bluetooth headphones.
Well, there's only 2 accessories,
Okay,
so you
well,
got to choose
yeah.
2.
I would go with the phone and Bluetooth headphones, and I would ditch
Okay.
the 3DS.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Okay, and last question. You have any secrets you want to dish on Jared here?
He snores really loud.
Does
I
he?
do.
All right. Well, he and I would get along.
Do you have sleep apnea?
I don't think so.
Have you checked it?
I have not.
Maybe
A lot of if you're snoring, does it wake you up?
No.
Does not wake you up.
Nope.
It wakes me up.
Nope. And I don't. I always feel rested. A lot of the
You
other,
do feel rested?
A lot of
Okay,
the other symptoms of sleep apnea,
Is
I don't feel like I have.
Fatigue is
Yeah.
a real bad one.
Anthony,
yeah.
have you ever like tried to strap a tennis ball to his back so he sleeps on his stomach?
Or a side.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I am a side sleeper.
He's-
Are you?
he's-
I'm
he
a
sleeps
fetal
on his
position
side.
You
sleeper.
snore on your side too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Gotta get that
It's
checked out.
really loud.
So on his back it'd be disastrous, I bet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on his side he snores, which I thought was kind of interesting too. But most of the time it's just him going
Yeah. I'm glad snoring's the only dirt that he's throwing out here.
Well, we're gonna wait until we get something juicier.
Oh,
What
okay.
else? What else, Anthony?
about Jared.
Yeah. Does he walk around in the Death May Die makeup at home?
No.
No.
No, because I hate taking that crap off. It looks cool once it's done, but it's like nothing like doing a show and then you're spent after loading out and all the stuff that normal bands go through after a show, only to get home at 2 a.m. and still have to jump in the shower and scrub the crap out of your face till it's raw.
Yep.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Beauty has a price.
Andy
Steve.
made $40 on that show too.
That's
which makes it even a
That
better
I had to
night.
split between 5 other people.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I had to
cover my
pay my beer
foundation.
tab.
Exactly. Johnny, it's like you're in a band and you know what's up.
I do.
Right. Well, do you have anything else you want me to shy away from or not ask him that I can ask him?
Oh no, you can ask
You
anything.
can ask me anything.
Okay. I
Bring it.
Okay.
nerd.
Okay.
All
Ask him that one.
Ask me
Which one?
questions,
Ask him that
boomer.
one. Nope.
Oh, Gaga or okay. So Gaga or
Show,
Madonna.
show the camera.
We already had. Okay.
So we were gonna have a fight today.
Oh, you had to pull
back
it
up. Back up.
Back.
Back up.
To your
Okay,
left.
I'm
There you
looking.
go.
Okay, I'm looking at my camera. over
Oh
here.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Gaga
Well,
or
ignore
Madonna.
the hair. You can wipe that off.
The arrow's backwards on that.
Oh, it was not backwards, but it is now
The
since
arrow's
he's got the power of the pen.
No,
I do.
That should be this way.
Gaga is better than Madonna.
Madonna.
Easily.
End of story.
And so more songs that are better vocalists. Madonna can't sing. Better better Super Bowl halftime show, better looks, better fashion.
Back up. So Madonna is the Vince Neil of pop music. She sounds great in the studio, and then after that, meh.
Yeah, I'd agree. But
Better
there
dancer.
Vince Neil's terrible. At this
Oh
way.
my God.
Dude, he mumbles everything. What's he saying?
He doesn't even know. And he's only saying half at least of the lyrics, if not like less than that.
Right.
Vince Neil, he's from a band, right?
Yeah, he was
Correct.
in Poison.
Yeah, he was. He was the lead
Vince,
singer.
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poison.
Motley Crue.
Poison.
Yeah, he was the lead singer of Guns N' Roses.
He was the lead bassist.
Yeah.
Isn't he the fat one?
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
Who's like
The
Yeah,
the
yeah.
abominable
He's not-
snowman.
Yeah,
that's
and
him.
he's not really singing. He's just going. Yeah, that guy sucks. That's Madonna.
That's Madonna.
Okay, well, we're gonna get some hate, I'm sure. On that one.
Madonna's trash. All you boomers are wrong.
Oh my God. All right, so let's jump back over here. We can go back
Thank
to
you for
all
the happy birthdays.
You do know that
Yeah.
boomers were like
listening to
20
Madonna.
years before us, right?
They
right.
were
Yeah.
born.
We're
Boomers
Gen
are-
Xers.
Boomers are 55. and
Nope.
up.
Nope.
50. Yes.
Nope.
Nope.
Yes.
You can yes with your internet answer all the time, but
You guys
boomer
are wrong.
actually stands for
Okay,
Jared's a
baby
millennial.
boomer.
Okay, so I think actually
I'm a
baby boom was
millennials,
like late,
82
like
to
68.
89.
So there may be some
No,
50-year-olds, but the bulk of the baby boomers were born in the 50s and the late 40s. So they're your grandparents.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
and then Generation
Yeah.
X is what?
Huh?
What year is Generation
They're
Oh,
like
God,
70,
crap out of me.
70 through like 85.
Okay, and then millennials after that, which is what I would be in, and it's from like 84 to.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
said,
so
wait, you said Gen X is 70 to 85?
well, 70
That is
to, or
correct.
80s. Yeah.
That is correct. 1970 to 1985.
Mhm.
And then boomers are the ones who were born before that.
Yeah. Our parents.
So
My
people
parents
who
are
were
boomers.
born in the 60s.
Yeah. Late 60s.
All of the 60s. Because you just said
Yeah,
Gen X
yeah,
started
60s,
in
yeah.
the 70s.
Like
in
the
70s,
late
so
40s.
all of the
50s.
60s and the late 50s. 40s now. If they were born in the 40s, they're the greatest generation.
They are.
All right.
No, the greatest.
Let's go to the
generation was our
comments, y'all.
great-grandparents.
We're going to the comments. I'm leaving y'all in
They're
the
the ones that
dust.
fought World
Y'all
War
are boring
II.
the crap out of me.
Okay.
You know me. I'll call a spade a spade.
He just won't call himself a millennial, even though he is.
Right. There you go. There's your dirt right there.
Alrighty.
Cindy says expression using shoes like Chucks or Air Jordans. That's very true. That was a status symbol back in the day.
I had a pair of Air Jordans.
Deborah Klein says, I'm listening, just cooking. Hey, what are you cooking? What you got cooking? Cindy says, happy birthday. Stephanie Norton, happy birthday, Anthony. Hey, Stephanie Norton. Brian also says, happy birthday, Anthony. And Lisa says, we would bring you a bottle of wine, but Joshua is a diva and expects us to bring him the first bottle of raspberry wine.
I don't expect the first bottle. I
What
just
about
want one
strawberry wine?
Strawberry.
How did I know?
17.
17.
Thank you, Sherry.
Hot July Moon.
There you go. That's the one.
It's a great song.
It is a great song. Sherry says, oh my God, Anthony, I love you. There you go. Christy says, psh, suck up, LOL. But happy birthday to you, sir.
Thanks.
Kim Garmer, also says happy early birthday. Julia says happy birthday. Deb says Gen X starts at 65.
Now we have our
Boomers
answers.
are 46 to 64. Hey, Jared. And Deborah says, I'm cooking chicken fried steak by request from my son. My
sounds
goodness.
good.
Save a plate for us.
I want potatoes too.
All right, let's get back into the driver's seat of this
All
thing
right.
here and continue on. We've got the Fame versus, I've been dreading having to say this one all week. I at first thought it was She Be, but it's actually pronounced how she sings it in the song, Shiza.
But she couldn't.
Which, does anybody know what that means?
It's shit in
Yep.
German.
Correct.
But she couldn't put that, so she put Schreib.
Correct.
Kind of clever, actually.
Right? Until we get into the lyrics of the song.
And then it's not. I gotta take it, right?
So I'll go ahead, since I've already given it away. The song is in mostly faux German. It's not actual German. It's a bunch of more mumble jumble. Kind of
Kind of like you did with the Spanish, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's Italian.
But this, she's doing it on. Well, I'll explain.
It's kind of more like this. You know what I'm saying? So on the German song, Scheiße, she's telling her man that even though she doesn't know how to do something, in this case, speak German, she will do so anyway to please her man. And it's kind of about self-empowerment as far as like, it's almost tongue-in-cheek in her saying that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then the Fame is about seeking fame and how we view celebrities. I'm not going to vote yet. I wanted to say my little tidbit, so I'll circle back around to myself. But Anthony, we'll let you start on this one.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, feel free to dish us up some cake.
Okay. So Scheib is very much inspired by like European house music.
Yep.
It's very rave, very of that genre and that orientation. The fake German, I think it's really funny. And some of the lines, she's like, love is objectified by what men say is right, which I thought was kind of clever. It's like female empowerment. When you listen to the lyrics and like actually read it, it's like, okay, so there's hints of that. Obviously it's not super deep, but that's basically the basic message of it. But you wouldn't expect that listening to the song. You think it's just some techno rave song. The Fame, same ballpark, but it's more easy to understand and direct. The Big German killed me. I thought it was really funny. I'm going to go ahead and just easily go with Schreib.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Like if I'm going to be in a club and I want to listen to a song and just dance and spin glow sticks, that's what I'm going with. 10 out of 10 every time.
Okay.
If I had to choose between the two. The Fame, even though it's disappointing because that's the title track of the album and that's
Took the
all
words right out of my mouth,
and that's
BJ.
all you're coming up with. The Fame, I like it's a filler song.
It's a filler song.
It wasn't even like
Yep.
it wasn't even a single off the album, and I'm like, what?
And it's the title of the album.
And it's the title track, so I'm like, no, Shibe all the way. It's everything that I want from a Gaga song, where it's weird, it's quirky, it's fun to dance to, it's got a great beat, and it's pumping fist and pumping fist and pumping fist easily. Shibe.
Okay, Johnny.
Well, he was just saying it's funny because the Fame, the song is very filler. Unless I listen to it, I don't even remember it most of the time. Especially for it being the name of the album.
Right.
I don't really like either of them, so my point of view is not going to be anything good. But the Fame is. It's a shame because the rest of the albums is going to be like this because nobody's going to know any of these songs after what we've already talked about. It's like they had to finish stuff up. They didn't even put like an end song that made it an end song of the album. It was just like, oh, we got 4 more tracks. Let's put them on here, and that's it.
You're talking about the Fame.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. The Fame.
Oh,
yeah.
the Fame. Yeah,
the Fame. Not
Yeah.
Born This Way.
Correct.
The Fame. So it being the song of the album, and then nobody knows it.
Yeah, this is the end of the cliff as far as the album. Yeah. Joshua, what do you think?
So was
Johnny.
Shibe or whatever was
Shibe.
John? Was that your choice too?
Yes, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I am totally opposite of what you guys said.
I'm shook.
Absolutely. The intro. Okay, the intro of it reminded me of "Owner of a Lonely Heart." Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it has that.
Yep.
Just kind of that same sound, and I was like, oh,
It does sound like that. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
And that was like, ooh, I kind of like that.
That's right.
Once again, Gwen Stefani's back.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought if this is a social commentary, then it's done really well. If it's pointing out the fallacies of fame and the struggles of fame, I thought it was done really well.
Right. And that's why I had that in my notes. It's how we view celebrities and the pedestal we've created for them.
Right. But if it's how she really views things, and that's really sad.
Right.
And I also thought that sadly, this can kind of be seen as like a anthem for kids now who are just wanting fame and not see the way what she's pointing out as these are not something to be achieved or
these are
strive for.
These should not be goals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which actually kind of ties into the whole EP that she followed the fame with, the Fame Monster.
Right. And
the song The Fame kind of ties the two together.
Yeah.
In that
And so
respect.
to me, this actually is probably one of the deeper messages of the album. It
I would agree with that,
has
actually.
a lot to say. Scheib, I said, is there anything better than German influenced techno club music? Well, off the top of my head, expired seafood, accidentally biting your tongue, and prostate exams.
I mean, I agree on the third one.
No, I do not like German techno music. I'm sorry.
But it's
Now
fake German techno
Okay,
music.
which is even more problematic because if you fake like Chinese or Spanish, you're culturally insensitive. So now this is not a good look to do fake language. That's culturally insensitive.
Keep
and
in mind,
social.
this was way back in 2011, so this is before a lot of this
Well,
kind of
it
came to
doesn't
light.
matter.
but-
It's retroactive now. You got comedians getting in trouble for things that they said 10, 15 years ago.
I'm right on my tongue.
Yeah. So this song's problematic now, and so probably needs to be canceled. And yeah, it was just it was ridiculous in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the fame.
Okay.
John, do you want to change yours? Owner of a lonely heart, buddy.
Oh, come on.
I did forget that was way that I actually used to think the same thing you said. It does sound just like that other song. It sounds exactly like that.
But would that dock points in your opinion?
No, because it's cool. The fame, the tribe sounds just like any other club song.
Gwen
you would
Stefani,
hear.
however.
But you were just praising other songs on
on
the Fame album earlier for being that way. So
you gotta watch
aren't
this
you being
Joshua character, man. He's a flippy floppy
Aren't
fishy.
you kind of being contradictory right now?
How so?
Because you just said like Scheib sounds like any other German techno song, so therefore it's invalid. But then you were talking about how Just Dance and other songs like Poker Face have a more mainstream, like manufactured appeal, and that's why they win. So that's kind of contradictory.
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Oh, also,
I think what. Oh, go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. I was gonna say about the fake German thing because yeah, you're right. It can be seen as problematic nowadays with how sensitive people are. But if you look up the purpose behind her speaking fake German, the reasoning she gives is because whenever she's asked to speak her mind as a woman or she's asked to explain herself to other people, she always ended up feeling as if she was speaking gibberish and that nobody could understand her anyway, which is nonsense. Which is why she's like, I mean, I can't speak German, but I can if you want me to, I guess.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter what your intention is. It's just the fact that it's being done nowadays.
Well, yeah, that's the whole concept of cancel culture. It's like it doesn't matter what your intentions were. If we don't like it, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So
no, I really don't care about that. It's just I don't like German techno music. I really hate it. So it's got to be really bad for me to go with this one.
Put me down for Scheibe. Scheiße.
That's what you're going for?
That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I enjoyed that one a lot more, actually.
Okay.
So if you want to talk influences, it just immediately made me think of Rammstein, and I'm like, sure, we'll go with that.
I get that.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a power to that sound to me. Whether it's true German or German-like or German-ish.
She said a couple of German words.
It's just got that very powerful sound.
Third Reichish feel to it.
Oh my God.
How do you even follow that?
We're rude. We never figured out if Johnny changed his answer or not.
No, I was just listening. It's funny though, because you were saying about how the German language is a very strong language, and it can also be a very unattractive language at the same time. So it does when you hear it, it does make it. It's just hard to put into music. It'd have to be hard to put into music because the way the words are structured anyway, what we consider rhyming, I don't know any other languages, so I've always wondered how that is whenever like converting a song from English to whatever, how much that would change the way it's being said because other languages process a word like a sentence structure differently than we do as they read it. So I don't know, but I'll keep my answer the same.
Okay. Going over to the comments, we've got Deborah says mashed potatoes and cream gravy too.
Yummy.
Yes. Julia says
Shiza gets my vote.
Shiza gets my vote. I love cursing in German. Stephanie says, hi, Elkie Caswell Bradford. Well, hello, there she is, lady of the hour. Cindy, I like this answer. This is the best. Don't know either. No time for homework. Voting for fake German techno.
Based. Yes.
She gets an A. All right. And just like that.
Scheid is the winner.
Josh?
Scheiße.
There you go. We've got Money Honey versus Bloody Mary. We'll start with Josh on this one.
Okay, so this falls in the same biblical imagery. The whole biblical imagery again, ridiculous.
You talking about for Money Honey?
No, for Bloody Mary. No, for Bloody Mary. Again, it tries to make the song sound like it has an intelligence and depth, but it's ultimately just ridiculous because the references are inadequate and inaccurate. So it's pseudo-intellectual, in my opinion. And Money Honey, well, at least the songs. I can't even read what I'm saying here.
Yep.
I would totally.
Oh yeah, it talks about how the relationship is better than like the finer things. Like it's love is like money in the bank. I think there's a song.
When you give me good kisses, that's money, honey.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm your lover and your mistress.
Yeah, and it talks well. Again,
that's money, honey.
Yeah, still the song.
When you touch me, it's so delicious.
Yeah, and that tells you
Filler.
it tells you how bad the
filler.
lyrics in Bloody Mary are. If I'm gonna go with that, so I'm going with Money Honey.
I would, but I any sugar. Well, no sugar for me.
Are you
Thanks.
diabetic too?
No, the doctor told me I was going to be if I wouldn't have I lost like 90 pounds. They said I was going to be hypoglycemic, fall asleep, and I was like, I ain't doing it.
Right.
My mom's diabetic and everything, so no cake, no ice cream, nothing.
Fair enough.
Cake.
Okay. John, what do you think? Bloody Mary or Money Honey?
Well, the thing is we're talking about more fillers again, and like I said
Agreed.
earlier, the last like 5 songs on the album after the main ones, it was just I like Money Honey, but then again, I'm also going off of, I really like Lady Gaga, really like that album, so I started to like every song on the album, but. And then you were saying what is Bloody Mary wrong as well on lyrics? Is it wrong?
Yeah.
As well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like someone opened up a Bible and said, "Well, that's a cool word, and let's put it in there."
It's supposed to be from the perspective. The lyrics are supposed to be from the perspective of Mary Magdalene, whatever her name is,
and it's all
was
wrong.
one of Jesus's disciples. Yeah,
she was a follower. She wasn't one of the disciples.
Right, and follower of him, and I guess was one of the first, or if not the first, to see him after he was resurrected.
Right, agreed. But none of that is in there, and everything is wrong about the references. So
she talks about getting stoned to death, and they're gonna kill the king on his throne, and she's ready for their stones, and she won't cry for you or crucify the things you do.
Right, and all of that's incorrect. Yeah. The references are totally out of whack. I mean. You could have done it more appropriately, but again, there was no research done or no understanding done. So
I wonder why this happened so much on this, because it makes me rethink everything now because you're calling out. But I've never studied it this much either to actually look all that stuff up. It's funny that I don't really listen to a song and be like, I got to make sure that's correct first before I like it. It's just you were really good at doing that, and I've never done it. So I would say Money Honey, and probably because it's probably more truthful and actually makes sense that feelings are like money. I guess. I don't know. We're into a lot of filler stuff now.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so for me on Money Honey, the verses sounded like recycled parts from Just Dance. A lot of the same sound, literal, actual same sounds and same chord progressions with like notes taken out of it, kind of thing. Just a cheap version of Just Dance. But the pre-chorus is fantastic. The line and specifically the music underneath of this line. It's good to live expensive, you know it. But my knees get weak, intensive when you give me kisses. Which then obviously goes into the chorus. But that part leading into that was really great, I thought. I enjoyed the sound of that. My notes for Bloody Mary, I enjoy the beat of the song overall, but it sounds a lot like it sounds a lot like the beat and the sounds of Closer by 9 Inch Nails. The same snare sound, the same kick drum sound. That's why when you said 9 Inch Nails earlier, I'm like, oh, wait until later, because it literally sounds just like the same exact thing. It probably could have been MIDI sampled even. That's how similar it was. So again, I really enjoyed the pre-chorus of Money Honey, but overall, I'm going to give the song to Bloody Mary. There's just more about that I enjoyed. But again, and Johnny said it best, these are both filler songs. Nothing really stands out that much. If these were in 7 songs in 7 days, they'd be getting 7th place. I don't know how else to say that, but there you go.
My turn.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Bloody Mary.
Okay.
Sonically, I enjoy it better. I like the production on it way more. I think production wise, it's very well put together. I like how so far if you're looking at all of the album of Born This Way, it's in the perfect position because you just get off of Shibe, which is like this hardcore like techno rave song. You're gonna go to Bloody Mary, where it's a lot slower, smoother, and this is gonna make all the people in the comment section angry. This is the first example, in my opinion, on the album where there's some very obvious metal influences going on with this, which is weird to put on a pop album, but it's there. Like there's actual breakdowns in the song Bloody Mary. Like if you were to replace some of those synths that she's using during the bridge and replace it with guitar, it would sound like a breakdown of a metal song.
Yeah, he was mentioning.
I mean, even he
that
said
it's kind of
9
a
Inch Nails.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is one of the first examples of her, which it's kind of the same theme throughout the Born This Way album. It's almost like a pop album versus a rock album in certain ways. I would give it to Bloody Mary, just because I think production wise, it's a better song. It's put together better. It's got better breakdowns, a good bridge, and I like it.
Yep.
And operatic. She uses operatic vocals in this, and hints to some of her classical training that she had coming up in this song, which she hasn't done at all in either album so far.
Right. Yep. True. We've got Julia Lee Cobb with a vote, Money Honey. So,
Money Honey.
Money Honey.
Oh, there's only one vote from the audience.
Well, it's
Yep. Thanks for pointing that one out.
Into the songs that people don't know.
That's true. They don't know it.
They don't
said
feel
this.
strongly
It's
in either way.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they've all, each one of them gotten weak on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because these albums, again, it goes back to what I was saying with track listing. One album is front loaded, the other is back loaded with all the hits. It's really interesting. They're not sprinkled throughout. So up next we've got Starstruck and Bad Kids. It actually worked. Let's see here, Anthony. We'll let you go first.
I'm gonna go with Bad Kids on this one.
Okay.
Because it was a song written and produced and made specifically for the Little Monsters, and it's actually aimed towards them.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually she's singing to her fans. She's like, "Don't be insecure if your heart is pure. You're still good to me if you're a bad kid, baby." Like, it's for her fans.
Cool.
And it's about all the weird, like, outcast people who were huge fans of Lady Gaga, the gay people, the emo people, the scene kids. It was all about them, and it was for them. And so
there you go.
I'll give it to that one.
Julia says.
Plus, it has guitar.
Julia says, "Am I the only one voting out here?" Well, Shiza. Johnny, what do you think on this one?
I'm probably gonna go with Bad Kids too, and the only reason is because Starstruck. But the first time I heard it, and then of course Flo Rida is in it.
Yeah. Oh,
and it makes it seem like to me it was another like security blanket of like we have this last resort here in case this doesn't take off. But it's so not her style at all.
Nope.
I mean, I know her music is clubbing, but not that. I don't know. It sounds like it was probably written in a couple of minutes. It's not a
Starstruck,
good,
you mean?
Yeah, Starstruck. It's not a good song. I'm gonna go with Bad Kids, just because Starstruck means nothing, and it doesn't talk about anything. And Flo Rida, like I wonder if she's even sang that song live before.
I don't think she has.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I don't think she likes the song.
Yeah, I really don't think.
I mean,
she probably doesn't like the song.
Flo Rida, come on. Why?
Yeah, he was big for about 5 minutes and he fell
Oh,
off big time.
Why?
Right. So
it just ruins it.
Here's my notes, and a lot of these, like I've got a lot of stuff written. Here's my notes for Starstruck.
Sounds like Sierra Wannabe.
Sounds like Sierra Wannabe. It doesn't sound true to Lady Gaga at all. Here's what I've got for the other one.
Nothing.
Nada. Bad Kids wins just because I think it's a better song. I've got no earth-shattering thoughts about either song. Bad Kids is a better song. I thought Starstruck was just kind of cheap sounding. It
So
sounded like some teenage pop sensation coming into the scene kind of thing. I'm like, this does not fit you or the album or the concept.
Anything.
Yeah. Josh?
I thought Starstruck might be a good club song because it's just kind of repetitive and but lyrically, Space Cowboy, Cherry Cherry Boom Boom.
Exactly.
Points.
That's
Cherry Cherry Boom Boom.
Yeah.
Second time
points
she
for
does that in the album.
Nothing stands out
Yeah.
is what I put on.
Yeah, Cherry Cherry Boom.
She does a lot of that. A lot
Yeah.
of callbacks to previous
Yeah.
songs in that album.
Yeah, nothing stands out on Starstruck. I like Bad Kids. Sounds like what I think Gaga should sound like.
Mhm.
Vocally anyway. The verse is cool, even if the guitar is a keyboard.
Right.
On that one. That was sampled guitar. The chorus loses a little bit of intensity, but it's still better than Starstruck. So
There you
we
go.
are all in agreement on that
Hey,
one.
hey, hey.
No fighting, guys.
Wow.
You guys made the right choice.
I think everybody would make the right choice.
Yeah.
It's really not a good song.
It really is filler.
Yep.
Flo Rida, come on.
What's really funny is
Jesus Christ.
Julie said, "Am I the only one voting out here?" Well, we've got no votes for this song, so now we've went from 1 to 0. So let's go ahead and call it here, Joshua.
We're gonna call it Bad Kids.
There you go. All right, so Bad Kids will move on, and let's see what we got. Okay, so we got Boys, Boys, Boys versus Highway Unicorn. I've got to start with Joshua on this one.
This one was fun. Go in.
Hello, Miss Gwen Stefani.
Yes.
You're back singing a No Doubt song with shallow lyrics on Boys, Boys, Boys. Filler. Yep. Highway Unicorn. What are you doing? What?
Zooming in.
Why?
The whole song, Highway Unicorn, Road to Love.
Yeah. Sounds like Gaga. There's better fills and breaks, and it drops to halftime, which was really cool. That was something that she doesn't normally do. So when that hit it, my ears perked up. So I think that it's just a much better song. So I'm going with Highway Unicorn.
Road to Love.
Road to Love.
I just want to keep it here for a minute.
Stop that.
I'm surprised. I thought you'd go in a little harder there.
Let's see here, Johnny. What do you think?
I know it's funny because we're starting to pick these songs on Born This Way over because the last 4 songs on the Fame were so empty. We're naturally even starting to look past the inconsistencies with the lyrics on these other songs, and we're picking them because the other ones on the Fame are so stock.
Yes.
The album
Boys, Boys,
really
Boys is
falls
super
off.
stock.
It really falls off on the second half
Yeah.
of that album.
It really does.
Yeah, if you look at my notes,
Born This Way is a bit more consistent throughout.
Yeah,
front side is the first 7, second side is the back 7. Yeah, it's totally.
I'm gonna go with
flops.
Highway Unicorn as well because Boys, Boys, Boys is just as
Didn't click with
empty.
you?
No, I mean I like the whole album, but a lot of it's nostalgia.
Sure.
And it comes to actually with facts with it, it's not that good, and I
Yeah.
can't go off of that alone because nostalgia and the rose-colored glasses can really make you not have the right answer. So it's good to have someone's outside perspective who doesn't know any of these songs and hearing them more than what I'd be able to give.
For sure. Anthony.
Okay, so I probably like Boys, Boys, Boys more than you two do, only because very specific, not just because it's about, it's very homoerotic, but also a very niche thing. When I was in high school, I would see YouTube videos and stuff like that, where anytime there was like a compilation video of like, this is gonna get really nerdy, male anime characters and like shipping them together. No, it's not sentimental at all. It's sexualized. Any sort of combination of like male anime characters going together and like shipping them in a relationship, they would always put that song Boys, Boys, Boys to it. And I just thought that was funny. And that was the first time I heard it was on YouTube. I didn't even realize it was a Lady Gaga song. And then I found out after I purchased the album that it was. And I was like, oh, that's a Lady Gaga song? What the hell? That doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't even sound like her. And then
Gay!
Yes. And then Highway Unicorn sounds like, even when it first kicks off the song, like we could be strong, like it hits the cymbals or whatever, it just, that sounds like such a bigger production. It's such a larger sound production wise. It just seems like I could imagine that being like a mid-roll song in one of her concerts, whereas Boys, 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 I would never hear that in one of her concerts. She'd never play
Has
that
she even
song.
played that one live?
I don't think
I
so.
bet she hasn't.
But Highway Unicorn, I can imagine her doing that. So I'm going to give it to Highway Unicorn for all the reasons that you guys listed. I think it's objectively a better song. I think Boys, Boys, Boys is like a joke song almost. It's like silly. And it's like, tongue in cheek, leather jacket. The only thing that puts Boys, Boys, Boys over is that there was that viral sensation kid who sang the song Boys, Boys, Boys. No, it was Paparazzi. Never mind. He didn't even do Boys, Boys, Boys. Nope, get wrecked. Boys, 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 you got nothing. You don't even have a viral sensation.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, Highway Unicorn. For sure.
Okay.
This is sad, by the way, actually, this is happening this way with these songs.
Right? Yeah. Write better stuff.
Music industry.
Yeah. Yes. So for me, Highway Unicorn has a EDM feel to it. The chorus is super weak. Boys, Boys, Boys. I hear Katy Perry influences on this one with her vocal performance, especially with the line something about her lipstick in the car's ashtray. Something I don't know. So
don't forget my lipstick. I left it in your ashtray.
Yeah. I'm like, it just immediately, that's who I thought of was Katy Perry. Which this is, and Anthony will understand this because he knows me. I'm actually going to go for Boys, 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 just because of the fact that the Highway Unicorn.
I knew he would.
Oh my God, Anthony, shut up. Highway Unicorn has a weaker chorus, and so looking at it from the perspective of a song, I feel it's just the weaker of the two. So Julia agrees. She says Boys, Boys, Boys.
A little too late.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we, 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah.
Yep. So Julia, you got to stick around because on those, you're going to be the deciding vote, I think, on some of these. Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got.
Commercial time.
Woo-hoo. All right. We got I'm here to tell you, if you're not familiar with these albums, I know this is, we're in a lull right now, but we're about ready to come back out of there. So
we are.
Come back and join us, why don't you? We'll be back.
I have just one question. Have you thought about being a guest on the show? We are currently seeking music lovers of all kinds to join in on our fun. If you're interested in being a guest, or if you just have questions, comments, or suggestions, you can message us on Facebook or email us at theaudioroastpodcast@gmail.com. You can also submit any topics you'd like to hear discussed.
classic rock coffee. It's coffee that rocks, yeah. This ain't your typical coffee shop. It's Java with attitude, baby. From the moment you step onto the stage, you'll see, hear and taste the difference. We're rocking and roasting 7 days a week with guitars, amps, lights, burning wrists and groupies. We've got the best coffee, frappes, smoothies, protein shakes, pastries and sandwiches. Oh yeah, green M&Ms if you get backstage. Come on in and get a whole lot of love. Get the idea, my babies? Even if you don't love classic rock, well, that's impossible. You're gonna love classic rock coffee. Check us out. Located at Kansas Expressway and Sunset.
You're a fan of old school wrestling? Get a load of Recliner Wrestling Review. Old school WWF, WCW, ECW, and TNA Impact, as well as All Elite Wrestling. All things are covered by your hosts, Jared and John. That's right, catch them every Wednesday on YouTube. Recliner Wrestling Review, from the perspective of yet another fan or two. Episodes available now, only on YouTube.
All right, we're going to get to know Mr. Johnny Atkinson, and my goodness, have I been looking forward to this all week. So, we'll let our driver get back in the driver's seat over there.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Driver. Breaker, any little smokies over there?
No little smokies. I didn't bring my meat suit.
I got a message, by the way, last week at the end of the show, and it said, if you guys aren't wearing meat necklaces and earrings, I'm going to be upset.
Sorry, I didn't have time to string my meat.
Johnny's like, what have I got myself into?
No, you're fine.
The real answer is, I don't know. All right, Johnny, so we got to start from the top here, my friend. What is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
We already know this.
Well, earlier it was mentioned of the brown sugar. What is it? Brown sugar?
Yeah, brown sugar cinnamon.
Yeah. So whenever me and Kyle were in middle school and high school, which would be my best friend,
right?
We were nocturnal together. He's in Troy now, which have a show on Friday, which we're going to be going to, which is going to be great. But his mom always used to buy the super cheapo ones. Like, you know how Pop-Tarts come in 4? There's 4 in the deal. Well, they're so cheap they only come with 3 packages in the 99-cent one. So those are my favorite, even though they're not good.
Gotcha. That's fair. Butter or no butter?
Oh, no butter. Butter only goes on when you're over at grandma's and she only has the blueberry non-frosted. That's when you need butter.
What is it about grandma's and their unflavored stuff?
And it's got to be artificial. It's got to be like Sweet and Lows, and it's always like something like that.
It's true. It's true. So did you play any instruments in school, such as like in band or an orchestra or anything like that?
No, not at all. So it was the 7th grade whenever me and Kyle had home ec together, and we started being friends because we both liked Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. So
nice.
We would walk to the door every day, and he'd meet me, and we'd both do this. with just 2 fingers, not even playing like guitar at the bottom, and just go
Right.
doo, 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 doo. And that's how we became friends. Found out he had a guitar that he didn't really play that well, and his dad played drums, and they showed me Kiss, and I was like, this is amazing. So this is 7th grade. So my dad got me my first bass because I wanted to be just like Gene Simmons.
Nice.
And I still have my first bass.
Good for you.
And so bass is what I learned. And after that, it was vocals because we had to have them. So me, Kyle, and his dad could play.
Gotcha.
And then that's how it started. I never played anything else. I've never played in a band. I never had, my family has no musical talent whatsoever.
Really?
I'm the only one in my
family.
But my brother can write some good lyrics and play a little bit, but I'm the only one.
So was that your first band project then with Kyle and his dad and yourself?
That is correct.
What was that called?
Childhood's End, and that was a Kiss song. It's a very lame deal, but we were also 14. We recorded tapes out in the garage where we had a spare tire with a metal bar with a mic from Walmart. It was like a $14 mic, and we recorded tapes. It was January like 18th, and we thought it was cool to have our shirts off while we had third jamming session. See, there was jamming session 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And
Gotcha.
And I'd like to get Kyle's mom still has all the tapes of when we used to play all of them. And I actually have all of our old CDs because after Childhood's End, in high school, we played in Savage Arms, which is named after the gun. But I have all the demos where me and Kyle and one of our buddies from high school played. And that's where I first started singing like I did basically in Nocturnal. But I have all of that stuff now too, which is wonderful because I thought it was lost.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
Used to record with a little 8-track CD burner one. So I'd have to record our 6 tracks, and then I'd have to put it all to 1 track, and then I'd have to adjust everything at the same time. Oh man, those were the days. Yeah. So
there you go. So tell me about the transition from that project into Nocturnal Nation, or was there anything between there?
So our drummer joined the military when we were in high school, and then we had another drummer, and he didn't want to drum with us anymore. So it was just me and Kyle, and actually we were living together. It was just after high school. And we thought about putting an ad out sort of in a way to maybe us join a band because we didn't want to recreate one because we didn't know anybody. And then Nocturnal Nation got a hold of us because they lost their bass player and their singer, which was a female. And me and Kyle took their place, and that's how that started. And then we kind of did what they wanted to do, some of their older songs, and we started writing our own songs, and that's how it went.
Was that transition for the writing part of it easy? As far as were they open to your ideas and that kind of stuff? Or was it oh, this is really different from what we had originally planned on the band being?
It was really different. But the one thing I think what made it easier for them is because we were all the same age.
Right.
So we were all 18, 19. So we were all new at the same time.
Yeah.
None of us really knew what we were doing at all.
Sure.
So it was actually just learning as we went. And it was some of the best times ever. I mean, I would love to do a reunion show. So
dude, I think that'd be really cool. And I'd love to be involved in that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. Deborah Quine over here in the comments says, did you play in a park? She feels like she's seen video of this.
Yeah, we did 2 4th of July events in Rogersville City Park, which is a whole story on its own. It was great, but we had these new transmitters that we got because I got a cheap VHF wireless because it was 2004 and it cut out the entire show. If I just lifted my bass up to do a slide, it would literally cut out during the bass slide. I mean, it was just a disaster. We had these smoke bombs we were going to use, that backfired, and it smoked out everything.
Been there, done that before.
But when a Nocturnal we played, there's a lot. There's many outside stuff that we did.
Yeah.
A lot. Anywhere there was a show, we did it. That was back when people actually went out and did stuff instead of sitting inside all the time. So, yeah.
Yep. Deborah says, I love the girths. Abigail says, my grandma once bought shortcakes and poured milk over them, then topped them with strawberries and pretzel crumbs. They kept saying we couldn't eat if we didn't finish dinner. Lindsay and I said, no, thanks. Fair enough. So obviously it sounds like you're a bass player. Do you play any other instruments besides just bass?
So now I actually don't do anything but sing. I can still play bass when I need to.
Gotcha.
I do enjoy it. If we do the Nocturnal reunion thing, we had Stephen Damiano that was bass for us at the end for the last year and a half, because it got to the point to where playing and singing at the same time become a little bit of a conflict when you start messing with chops. So
Yes.
we were changing our sound at the same time. But I can play drums, all right. If I was actually sit down and like a year on the drums, I could be just absolutely great. I can play guitar, mostly rhythm. But normally singing is what I do more than anything. But yes, I can play guitar and play drums.
Nice.
But I can't play keyboard really or anything. I wish I would have when I was a kid, because if you play piano whenever you're growing up, it basically makes you where you can play any instrument.
It translates so easily to other
I missed
instruments.
out on that opportunity.
Yep. So what's funny is, and we'll get to this here in a few minutes, but because I like to showcase a video of you playing and stuff for people that may not have seen you perform at all. But in my research for finding that video, I found a video of you playing drums, and it's your drum song, and I was like, this is a banger. I
know. I remember I know which one this one is.
This is a verse. And then you go over to the right. Ding, 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 and here's the chorus.
Now we're going into the
we're
breakdown. Now we're in the breakdown. It was straight singles.
It was great. I'm like, you're spot on. Totally spot on. Covers or originals, and why?
What are you asking exactly with that?
So what do you prefer to perform? Do you prefer to write your own music and perform your own stuff, or do you get a kick out of you're taking your swing at performing covers and stuff?
Well, whenever we were in Nocturnal, we had like almost a 3-hour set at one time, so we could literally play any type of show there is. I think when you're local and you're doing a local thing, as much as you want to get your music out there, people's their attention span is small. I think every band should do some covers, because people want to hear those things, and if you do them right,
they want to relate to you.
They want to be, exactly, and they will remember. Like we would go from playing our songs to Master of Puppets to Cat Scratch Fever to Breaking the Law, Iron Man.
Right.
I mean, For Whom the Bell Tolls. I mean, it was Ted Nugent, Stranglehold. We played Stranglehold, played Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and people always liked that. So I like the covers because that's what we grew up playing. And that's what people like to listen to even now.
There you go. So you mentioned Gene Simmons earlier, but I'll ask you to specifically describe yourself in 3 musicians.
So with my bass playing, it was because of Gene Simmons. That's why I also played with the pick, because I wanted to be just like him. I guess if I wouldn't have had that inspiration, maybe I would have learned with my fingers. I'm not sure. Or slap or something along those lines.
Right.
I really got into Guns N' Roses too after that, because Duff Man is a really good bass player. He plays with the pick as well. And it was very 90s glam rock. And I really liked that. But if I was going to say who I am, because a lot of it, you got to remember, I was singing through all of this too. So a lot of it is what I replicated singing. So
right. And in musicians, I also include vocalists and stuff too. If that's,
M. Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold would be a big deal to me, because whenever City of Evil came out, I heard that rasp, and it was still lots of guitars and solos and double kick. And I was like, this is new. This is hot stuff right here.
Right.
So that had a big influence on me. Especially, and then around 2009, 2010 was a big deal, because hardcore is what I really like now. Screaming is what I do. And so Asking Alexandria was a big deal for me, because it brought back something new. And then it was just a big deal. So that's a big, and I'm trying to think of what would have a huge, huge influence on me. I don't know. My very first CD that I ever got was White Zombie, Astro Creep 2000.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Before I played music, I liked rock and roll. So I think it's just rock and roll in general that I love so many different types of music. Like I love Celine Dion, and I love rap, and I love Tupac, and I love Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I also like Korn and Metallica, and then all the classic rock stuff I grew up with. It's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Because I like
that's a lot of how
everything.
I am. Like I don't put boundaries or limits on things that I find enjoyable. It's if I dig it, I dig it.
Yeah. And it also adds a lot of influence to your own music, because you get a chance to experience other things that may not seem, but like you don't want to, people that only listen to like metal, you go and hear these metal bands, especially like local ones, and then it's like, oh, I'm out listening to that stuff's garbage, and then you listen to their music and it is garbage. It's like, well, if you don't have one influence, you're not going to expand and learn anything and change it up.
It's True.
Instead of hitting just grunge, no, gin, 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 with some cheap, people got to have more variety in what they listen to, because you don't have to be hardcore and be this awesome guy. No, you don't have to do that. I even love video game music.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a lot of video game music and instrumental stuff, so it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your first concert you went to, and who did you go with?
So I think my first concert was Toby Keith, and I was in like 6th grade at the Duck Stadium when it was still going. My first, I think my first concert was Ted Nugent with Kyle and his dad at the fair in 8th grade or 7th grade, one of the two. Because we went home, and it was 8th grade because I had my bass. So because we went home that night, and Ron had his drums in the garage, and I had my little custom 10-inch combo amp with my Squier P bass.
Yeah.
And I had that baby turned all the way up to make, and we played Cat Scratch Fever, but it was like, it wasn't how it was played. It was 0-3-5, a cheap way of playing it. We just went do 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 just for like 15 minutes straight.
Got it all worked out of your system, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. And finally, what would you be, Johnny, if you would have followed your childhood dream?
A weatherman.
Oh my gosh, really?
I like the weather a lot.
Probably hook you up.
Tell me more. Why so?
I was very scared of storms when I was a kid.
Okay.
To where it almost made an obsession out of it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I've always been fascinated with springtime or anytime the weather gets severe. I've always liked that. That was what I wanted to do as a kid. I was obsessed with the Weather Channel. So that was what it was. That's what it was. And then that went away fairly quickly. What I've always wanted to do was make it in music since I was 14,
right,
13. So before that was weatherman.
That's really cool. You're the second person that we've had on the show that has said that. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I dig it. I dig it a lot. So I've got, like I said, I went digging and found some old footage of Nocturnal Nation. So we're gonna watch this, and while we're watching along, Johnny, if you would tell us a little bit about who we're seeing, where you guys are playing, the song that we're hearing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, let's go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so that is Jeremy on bass. So I think I don't think I was playing bass. I think Dom was in the band, but I didn't write this song. Actually, Jeremy wrote "Medicated Dreams," and I think her name was Heather that originally sang. She sang the lyrics to that. I had to switch them over to male vocals, and he really we didn't get along for many years. He did not like me in the slightest because I ruined his song, and I came in and ruined the thing he helped create with his brother.
Wow.
But we started
That's
to
a
get
hard
along
dynamic.
later, and I was like, why don't you play this? This is your song. So
Right.
that was we were playing at the, what the Ugly Mug. I'm pretty sure that's at the Ugly Mug.
I'm pretty sure this is Club Fresh.
Oh, is it?
I think. I could be wrong.
It's hard to read. It's been a long time. But yeah, that was Jeremy playing bass, and he really enjoyed it because that's the song he wrote. He wrote the lyrics and everything to that song.
Wow.
And then Kyle, Drew, and yeah, that's what it was.
Nice.
The only time he ever played with us.
Anthony's asleep over there.
When you said you wanted to be a weatherman when you grew up, I thought you said you wanted to be a leather man when you grew up, and I got excited.
A leather man. Assless chaps.
Are you looking at
Happy
images?
birthday to me.
They're all assless chaps.
Right.
All of them
All
are.
chaps are assless.
So it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Abigail said, I typed that when you were talking about bland grandma food. Makes more sense in context. No, I got you. Yeah. And why is that a thing? Why do grandmas always have bland food? But when they cook, they make great food.
And it's the worst for you.
It's because they're not allowed to eat certain foods because of medical reasons. But if they're cooking for other people, they can put all the butter they want.
True.
I'm going to spoil these grandkids.
Right.
Right. All right, Josh.
Next.
Sorry. You guys are boring me.
King of the forest.
Gaga, ooh la la.
We've got Paper Gangsta versus Heavy Metal Lover. Josh, you're going last. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, she says I don't want no paper gangster, but the song is also just, it's not her. This is not, I mean, she doesn't want a paper gangster. I don't know. Heavy Metal Lover, I don't really know that well, so I guess I'll go with Paper Gangster because this is really these last few songs are really weak.
Yeah.
Like really weak. Paper Gangsta, my bad, I guess. I don't really
Right.
have a whole lot of input on it besides it seems like somebody else wrote it, of course, and let's get it recorded and put on the album.
Fair. Anthony.
I'm gonna go with Heavy Metal Lover because of the first line.
Which is?
I want your whiskey mouth all over my blonde South. Hot.
My blonde South.
This song's about sex, and I'm here for it. Sex sells. I'm gonna go with Heavy Metal Lover, mainly because the reason he just said. Paper Gangster doesn't sound like Gaga. Heavy Metal Lover fits in this album. It sounds fine. It starts off with keyboard, guitar, or whatever, and it's fine. I like it. Sonically, it's more appealing to me.
So for me, Paper Gangster has so many effects on her vocals it doesn't sound like her at all.
It sounds like
so the song feels like it's missing something musically. All you hear is drums with an overbearing subtone and piano, and there's nothing pleasing about that at all. Heavy Metal Lover, spoken word for the first part of the song, and it's a weak song considering the title. It's crap. It's garbage. There's nothing heavy metal about it. Paper Gangster wins.
Oh, you went Paper Gangster?
Well, yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay. I got you down as a Paper Gangster.
There you go. And
now I get what you're saying. How you gonna have a song called Heavy Metal Lover with no heavy metal in it?
Right.
Right. With no guitar in it, I felt it was unimpressive. It threw cliches and it threw all the cliches of music production in there.
So
every single one of them.
For me, how you were saying about like the biblical references and this is for music with me. I'm like, this is not heavy metal whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But it had and it's one of those things that I hate about popular music, even like rock or whatever. You'll have those little breakdowns that you can see coming from a mile away. You see coming from a mile away, and the only reason I voted for this song is that it might be more fun to dance to in the club. Paper Gangster.
Josh, it's time for the truth.
Paper Gangster.
Can you cut a rug?
Can I cut a no? I mean,
why am I surprised?
How many yards?
I can cut a real rug.
So that's a testament to how bad I feel that Paper Gangster is.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like a Kesha song. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
It sounded like the studio has a song. Kesha didn't want it. Here you go, Gaga.
We got the song for really cheap, so we're gonna put it on the album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. You're
and
exactly
I went
right.
back and I said, well, maybe I'm being too hard on Gaga, and I listened to some Kesha. It's like, nope.
Right.
It's Kesha.
Yep.
But that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to mold her into that mold at that point. But I'm gonna go with Heavy Metal Lover just because I hate the other one more.
All right. You're entitled to your opinion.
The one part of Heavy Metal Lover I do like it goes ooh, 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 ooh. I think that's catchy. But other than that, it's not a very good song. Neither one of them.
You just sang that and I couldn't sing it back to you. That's how not catchy it is.
Right.
Christy Pressler says Heavy Metal Lover. Julia says, as much as I don't want to vote against a song titled Heavy Metal Lover, I'm voting Paper Gangsta. All right.
Heavy Metal Lover.
Those dolphins are getting sleepy or something. They're slow on the draw.
Heavy Metal Lover.
All right.
Okay.
And moving on to Brown Eyes versus Electric Chapel. Anthony, let's get your opinion on these.
I think Brown Eyes is
a Van Morrison song. Almost.
No, but I think I think Brown Eyes was kind of like listening to it sonically and her vocal style in that song and how she sounds singing. I think that might have been one of the first things that led her to end up teaming up with Tony Bennett and doing their little collaboration that they did, Between Two Hearts or whatever it's called. Just because it kind of sounds in that realm where it's like, okay, she's singing like lounge music, with this Brown Eyes. It's like very slow, drops everything. It's like a slow, easy listening jam song. Electric Chapel, you get more of the fake keyboard guitar going in there with some solos and stuff thrown in for good measure. I'm gonna go with Electric Chapel just because I enjoy that more. It's got more energy, more beat than Brown Eyes. Where Brown Eyes, it's almost too slow. It just drowns out everything. I'm like, this is like not giving me anything. If I'm gonna listen to Lady Gaga, I want some upbeat tempo. I don't want to completely take away everything. It's just too slow for me.
Yep. Joshua.
So I felt that Brown Eyes was a ripoff of the Beatles and Queen, kind of mixed in there. It had that that chromatic stepwise thing going down that you hear with the Beatles, and had some Queen feel to it. Felt like Gwen Stefani was singing with Avril, with a little mix of Avril Lavigne in there. I thought it was a nice change of pace for the album, but I had to go with Electric Chapel because they actually had the distorted guitar on this. This was a real guitar on this one. And there's a guitar solo. And so they got bonus points for that. And that's what put it over the edge.
Okay. So for me, I've got Brown Eyes. Doesn't even sound like her, but it's still nice and stripped down. But not in a way that like is necessarily bad for. It doesn't bring the album down. Does it belong on the album? Probably not. But is it a good song? I actually thought so. I like the reflective nature of the song. Electric Chapel, by the way, also debuted on Facebook's Farmville game. But it sounded very Madonna to me in that song. My vote, surprisingly, is actually going to be for Brown Eyes.
Really?
Yep. If I didn't know it was Lady Gaga, and perhaps even if somebody else had done it, I feel like there's, I don't want to say hit potential, but it could have had some success behind it, I feel like. So yeah, that's my vote. Julia Lake Cobb says Electric Chapel is her vote.
Well, do we want to know what John thinks?
We do want to know what John thinks. John, what do you think?
When Brown Eyes comes on, I always use This is not the last song on the album. Is there one more?
No.
There's one more.
Two more.
I skip the song whenever it's really.
It is a skipper.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Electric Chapel, and I don't even know much about it either. But Brown Eyes was like I said, it's one that I don't listen to. It's a lot calmer, but it's not catchy to me. So I know they're probably going to go for like a slower song because it used to be that 80s love. You got to have a love song on your album.
Got to have your ballad.
Got to have your ballad, and I think that was their attempt, but it fell extremely short.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. There they are. Now they're back away.
The Electric Chapel.
Electric Chapel wins. All right. So for track 13, we've only got 2 more to go. I Like It Rough and You and I. Johnny, we'll let you start this one out.
I don't know. I Like It Rough either. It's not really that good. I mean, I Like It Rough.
Sounds like a Buck Cherry song.
It's another song that's not. It's literally this is the weakest songs on the end of an album like ever. It's just I don't know. I as of right now, and like you guys went and studied and listened, and I was gonna re-listen to that first album too, but it's like I need to go off what I remember.
Right.
I wanted to go off that approach, and when I think of if you would have asked me, I'd forget that song was on the album.
There you go.
Yeah, and then you and I don't really know that one either. So you got to remember though, at the end of that, when I Born This Way and I was trying to get into it, it started to push me in the wrong direction. It's because of I don't know. There's something about that album, almost like trying too hard, but it was a good thing too. But it just
I'm right there with you though, Johnny. I really am. I understood the importance of the album and that it resonated with a lot of people. I was just not one of those. I was like, I don't think it's. I don't know. It just didn't. So you're gonna go with which one then?
I'm going to go with You and I just because I Like It Rough. It doesn't make any sense. That's not what she's into. It's not like we're listening to like a rap song, a female rap song. I Like It Rough. I mean, that sounds like, I don't know. No, I just think the song's just that's not her. It doesn't mean anything. I bet she's never sang that one live either.
Probably true. Probably true. Anthony,
I'm going with You and I. This one's not close at all.
how do you really feel?
It's not close. It's the same reason I Like It Rough. We forget it's even a song. I couldn't even. This is probably the only one out of both albums I probably couldn't even attempt to give you any sort of lyric or melody of that song whatsoever. I could sing You and I from beginning to end because it was all over the radio. It was huge. She would perform this song in drag at the Grammys. And would
what?
You said
I'm not gonna sing the whole. No.
You said I'd know every single word. I could sing it now.
Well, this is honestly kind of a dig at modern country music, but Lady Gaga did a country-esque song better than anybody else in actual country radio did that year. And that's just how bad country music has gone. That's not a compliment to Lady Gaga necessarily. It's how bad modern day country music has fallen.
Modern day country has
fallen off its good graces.
Bro,
And the fact that someone like
big trucks and moonshine.
And the fact that someone like
sitting in
Lady
his front
Gaga
seat.
can put out a country-esque sounding song like You and I, and it could be on the country radio, and it's actually better that year than anybody else in actual country music was putting out. That I would say You and I, hands down. The video was cool too.
So I Like It Rough sounds so much. Now we've talked about other songs on these albums sounding a lot like, we've named Gwen Stefani, Katy Perry, Kesha, all these people, Madonna. This song sounds more of anything like a Madonna song, specifically the song Die Another Day, to the point where if you listen to I Like It Rough and then listen to Die Another Day, for me, once I started listening to I Like It Rough, I wanted to stop the song within the first 20 seconds and then just go listen to Die Another Day, because there's a better song. There's just so much more going on with that Madonna song than this. I just thought it was like a totally a straight up cheap ripoff. You and I samples Queen, We Will Rock You, Slow Down. This is where Brian May joined the team, if you will. And it was co-produced by Mutt Lange. So it's got star power and potential written all over it, which is why it was a big hit. It had a lot of people that knew what the hell they were doing, helping her out on this. My vote is for You and I. Josh?
Yeah, you just kind of hit everything on the head. I thought that I Like It Rough was just a synth pop filler, and I enjoyed the orchestration of this, even the little techno elements that you had, like the beats and stuff underneath that weren't necessarily country. I thought they added to it and made it interesting. Just the callbacks to like an Elton John-esque intro on the piano,
right?
It's done really well, and I felt that it could have been on a country chart as well.
Probably was it, Anthony?
I think it was. I think it charted on the country charts.
Yeah, and I thought that this was probably the best written song musically and lyrically.
I agree.
On the album.
Nice.
So that made me look up who wrote it, and Gaga had really no input on it. So, yeah, really none.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
But the fact that Brian May was on there and Mutt Lange, I mean, if you can't have a hit with those two,
that's what I'm saying. You're barking up the wrong tree. Yeah. Yep. Julia also votes for You and I in all caps. She must love it. So let's add them up.
You and I.
You and I. And we're on to our final song.
And really, do we need to talk about this one?
Right.
Well, we've got to. We've talked about all these other filler songs. We got to talk about this.
The last filler song?
Yeah. The closer.
The closer of the fillers.
Right.
All right. So we've got Summer Boy versus The Edge of Glory. Hit it, Johnny.
Johnny?
For it being a last song on the album, Summer Boy is not a last song for the album.
Oh, man. Really?
I don't think so.
I literally have that written down. Great end to an album.
Oh, like being honestly, you think it's a great end to the album? You do?
I do.
Because it's another one. It's where I don't listen to that song.
That's fair.
Yeah, just like I do with the one before it. Those songs I just could never really get into and didn't really do it much for me. And then The Edge of Glory. Was that on the radio?
Mm-hmm.
That was on the radio. It was on the radio. That
I'm on the edge. That was a single.
Of glory. Yeah, I think the Edge of Glory is better than Summer Boy because I don't even like if I was like, I want to listen to Lady Gaga today, and Summer Boy never comes even close to like anything on my list whatsoever.
Sure, no, I agree with that. Like when you think Gaga, you don't think Summer Boy.
Yeah, and
I
then
get that.
so I'm gonna go with the Edge of Glory.
Okay. So since I kind of spoke up on that, like Summer Boy, I really encourage you to go back and listen to because especially in the beginning, it has got a fantastic funk beat. It's a song about a summer fling, and I really do think it's a great end to an album. I just wish there hadn't been so many lulls in the album before that.
To give it a sour taste at the end, maybe,
right?
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
and I think that's
what it is. Maybe
yeah.
that is what it. Maybe I'll have to give it another try and see what I think about it now.
Because I think definitely on that album, it's a fall off album, meaning like it's front loaded to the point that the second half of the album, you're like, I'm just going to change CDs now, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. That's probably what it is.
Edge of Glory, another good album ender, I think. The saxophone played by Clarence Clemens of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Really well produced, and I love the second half of the song. It feels like a very 80s mixed with techno type song, like an 80s rock, 80s pop kind of song, which also is helped by the saxophone solo there, and then to the end of the song. I would give the edge to Edge of Glory. But I really encourage you, if you haven't listened to Summer Boy, it really is a great funk beat to the song. So, Joshua, what do you think?
I don't know where you're getting. I mean, I was looking for the funk in this album, and I don't even remember that on this song. All I could see, and maybe just the fact that this was so much of a ripoff of No Doubt. I mean, this could have been just pulled from one of No Doubt's albums, in my opinion. It sounded identical to what they were doing at the time.
On Summer Boy?
On Summer Boy.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And then kind of the half part of the chorus sounded like a Blondie song. So it sounded nothing like Gaga, in my opinion. It didn't show her voice. And
it kind of harkens back to what Johnny was saying earlier tonight, is this is a lot of her trying to find her footing and what her voice and her sound is and stuff.
You know, I don't even think it was that. I think this was a song that was given to her to do. This is a filler song. This is
it's filler for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's just, it is what it is, you know. It's
but my point is, of all the filler songs we've covered, I feel this is the strongest one.
See, I don't know. I this is it's forgettable for me because
that's fair.
Someone who digs the funk,
right?
I don't even know. I doesn't even hit me. Which one was the one that had a better funk intro? What was that one? Beautiful Dirty Rich has more of a funk feel to me than
interesting. Well, whenever, obviously we can't play it on the show, but whenever we go
this
off
one
air,
maybe had kind of a more reggae feel to it, but that's when I'm thinking No Doubt, because Blondie also had kind of a reggae,
that ska influence,
kind of a ska. So I don't know. To me, this doesn't say funk; it just says forgettable.
Okay.
So, and on the Edge of Glory, I think it's iconic Gaga. When you think Gaga, you think of a few songs, and this is one of them. I had a chance to play this live in a show, the Diva show, and it's fun to play.
Oh, I bet.
There's great breakdowns, great changes in it. We even had a saxophone player with it, and it's a really great song.
I love the fact that she actually has a song too that she can really belt things out. So you can see this is the beginning of seeing some of her vocal prowess, if you will.
Right. And one of the things that I always dinged her on some of these other songs are the repetitiveness.
Yeah.
But the repetitiveness in this works because she builds each time.
Right.
I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge. It always goes up and up and up. And
so
it intensifies each time. So this is repetitiveness done well.
Yeah. Done with meaning, done with purpose.
Yeah. It has nice builds. It has nice dynamics. It breaks down and then it comes back. So there's no question that Edge of Glory edges this one out.
All right. And finally, Anthony.
I'm kind of on the same camp as Jared on this one, where I used to skip Summer Boy back in the day. I would just skip it and go back to listening to Just Dance at the beginning and listen to the beginning half of the album again.
Yeah, that's
the better half.
what I would do too.
But this week I went back and I listened to all these songs and I just put on headphones. I closed my eyes and I listened, and I'm like, Summer Boy's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not on par with a lot of the other stuff, but I'm like, Summer Boy it fits in that first half of the album. as far as
It's
quality
funny too,
goes.
by the way, that you agree because, and I should have said this at the top of the show as a disclaimer. Anthony and I have not talked one word of
No.
Lady Gaga. Like the
He
first day,
hasn't let me.
whenever I was like, "Hey, this is the week that you're on the show for Gaga. Here's the playlist or whatever." He's like, "Oh my gosh, this one song." I'm like, "Nope, don't want to hear it." So there's been no back and forth any of this on this. So that's interesting to hear that you thought the same.
Yeah, and as far as The Edge of Glory goes, it's a great song, one of the best songs that she has on the album. I think it's one of the better singles. I think it should have gotten more success than it did. I completely 100% agree with Josh in the sense that this, more so than any other song, it builds. That song builds so well. And there's everything that you want in it. I think there's piano. The saxophone is great. I think the saxophone was played by, who was it?
Clarence Clements from Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
and
there he
Street Band.
is. Yeah. And I'm just, it's a great song. I think it's a good way to close the album as well. Similar to how Mary Than I opened the album pretty well. Not as good as Born This Way would have opened the album, but I think Edge of Glory is a great closing song for the album. I think it does a great job with it. So Edge of Glory for me.
There you go.
It's not close. The Summer Boy is a good song.
I have to give it another try again then.
Yeah.
Me too, because I don't remember the funk.
I used to skip it.
Well, we'll give it a spin once we go off the air. Like I said, I wish we could play even a piece of it, but of course, copyrights and all that fun stuff. You know how that goes. So we can't be doing all that. But so let's I did the wrong button there. Sorry. So Josh, let's go ahead and call. Oh, actually, let me go to the comments here. Julia says, "The Edge of Glory, yet another one I love to sing," and Clarence Clements on the sax. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And Christy says Edge of Glory also. So, we're calling it. I assume Edge of Glory was the winner on that.
Edge of Glory, yep.
All right.
I don't think anyone voted for the other one.
Let me see here. I want to. Oh. Okay, so let's got to play our little sound again. You ready? All right, Josh.
Yeah.
Do we have a clear and concise winner here?
Yes, we do.
All right. So, without any further ado,
Woo! Yay!
Born This Way is our winner for the day. So what was the track total? Do you know?
It was 9 to 5.
Working 9 to 5. What
Born
a
This
way
Way.
to make a living.
And you know what? When my picks were 7 to 7, so
I was 8 to 6.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was very close.
Did you go into this before listening to anything? Did you just at face value think, "Oh, this is a better album"?
You mean just like before I listened to anything?
Yeah.
I had no clue as to what the tracks were from each album. I couldn't tell you what songs were actually on them
Gotcha.
before.
What about you guys, Anthony and Johnny? Did you guys have any preconceived, "Oh, this has got to be the shoe-in" kind of thing?
I thought my original thought, Born This Way is going to kick the Fame's ass. Not going to be very close. I thought it was going to be 10-4, but then I started thinking
You were close.
and
It
then
was 9-5.
yeah, and then I started thinking about it harder. I was like, well, no, some of these songs on the Fame are good, and they'll probably beat them. It just depends on how the early album area goes. And I ended up having it at either a 9-4 or an 8-7 or an 8-6.
Okay.
So
what about you, Johnny? I know you have a lot of nostalgic feelings towards the Fame. Did you feel like based on that alone, it would probably end up going to the Fame?
You know, it was going to be the Fame before we did this, but after we started going through and I got past the first 5 songs and realized that it's only an EP basically and not even a full album.
Right. Which I think is why they got remixed into another album.
Correct.
Because they felt the same probably.
With the Fame Monsters. What is that? An extension of the Fame? Is that what that's supposed to
it's
be?
like a part 2.
Right.
If you add that, it would probably win. If you
It
put,
probably
if you
would,
put both
because
of
there's
them
some
together.
good songs on that EP for sure.
Really good.
Like Monster. Is it Monster on that one?
Monster,
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Tease, Alejandro, Bad Romance.
Yeah, better. I'm going to say that Born This Way is more, and the reason why is because even if the stuff is, at least what she's talking about is something that she wants to talk about instead of like, hey, we bought this song for the lowest bid. It's the end of that album of The Fame that does it. None of those songs are anything she wrote or anything she probably even cares about.
Right.
So Born This Way would have to win just because it's more intelligent, more heart put into it. She wanted to do more things that she wanted to do, and it was her next full album after being told what to do. And I think she did a pretty good job at doing what she wanted to do on that. I really do. So yeah, Born This Way is better, even though I wanted The Fame. The Fame has good songs, but
And
it's only the first 4 songs or 5 songs.
Yep. And I'm like you. I think a lot of my judgment was clouded in nostalgia as far as I'm like, oh, come on, this is going to be a way better album. This isn't even close. Because I could have named like 2 or 3 songs from Born This Way. And then it's like, well, really, there was only like 4 or 5 hits on Fame. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. What else we got here, Josh?
What else?
Oh, we all out of time because we've taken it all up.
Sorry.
Hey, it's like Josh said, 28 songs that we had to go through. Yeah. So we made it, fellas. We made it. So I want to say thank you guys so much for your time. It's so nice to have you guys on the show finally. Johnny, it's been really nice to get to know you and to chat with you off stage. Like I said, we've known of each other for years.
Yeah.
So this is a nice first encounter, if you will.
It is very nice. I
good
enjoyed
stuff,
it.
man. Good. I'm glad you did. Thank you
you
both for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anthony, thank you. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And go sports.
Yeah, Team USA. I'm gonna go home and watch the Olympics for the next week.
There you go. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are out of time. Be sure to check out our website at audioroast.com, where you can find merch, playlists, links to our sponsors and past episodes, as well as different ways to support us. Time for our final thoughts. There we go. Final thoughts are, hey, if I send you a message and say, hey, would you like to be on the show? Will you please reply? See you next week. I don't know what the hell we're doing. Bye.